instead of capturing.
Okay.
Because right now I just have display capture captured.
So when it's full screen on the display. Oh wait.
No, I want to capture an application, so I want to capture Discord, right?
Well, no, because then you'll get the full Discord screen, and not
Just
just the
The
video.
little video window in Discord has a little maximize button in the bottom right corner. If you scroll to it and hover over it,
Yeah.
you'll see a little maximize. And I just captured the screen and it's working great.
That's what I was doing. I did screen capture and then add source, so screen capture, and then.
So click on the screen.
Yeah, I was
See
in
how it's
window
already
capture.
going off the window.
Oh, I just have to.
You have to.
Yeah, that's
pause
all it is. Sorry. Yeah, I see what I did.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, should
Thank you.
be
Boom. Now we're good to go.
now.
I believe we're good to go now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I am live as well.
Yep, me too.
Everyone's
Same.
live.
Everyone's
So
live.
I figure we'll go around really quick and do introductions. Sure, we probably don't all need to, but this way, in case somebody doesn't watch this channel, we all know who everyone is.
Yeah.
I'm David. You want
I'm Brandy. Julius.
And we're well, Max, our dog. We make 4/5 of story. Yes.
Otherwise, she'd be bored.
Yeah. 6-year-olds.
Okay, we going. Let's go that way. So now we're going to.
Well, the windows are different for everybody.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah,
Alright.
I don't know how it's for you.
So
Okay.
whoever wants to go next, I guess.
Go ahead.
Not everyone at once.
How do we have that host over there who just introduced himself actually call out each person to introduce? It'll be a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't I'm just gonna go around the way mine up. So over to Maddox.
Me?
Yes, you're the
hi.
first person on my screen.
I'm Bowden Maddox, aka Brent. I'm also one half of a RWBY reaction team. My daughter Michelle also reacts with me. You can find me on Bowden Maddox Presents.
It's good stuff.
And then next we have on our screen we have Captain Obvious Shay.
Hi, I'm Barbara, also known as Captain Obvious GA. I think most of you all know me.
Hello.
And that's it.
We got Sirs and Madams. So
Hi, I'm Mary from Sirs and Madams, aka Lucy, and I also run the Lucy and Cheese YouTube channel as well.
They do a lot of fun game stuff over there.
They do. Craziness. I'm Bruce from Sirs and Madams as well. And that's pretty much it.
all right, so then hopping back over, we've got Geek House.
Hi, I'm Joey. I'm half of Geek House. Well, if you count all the cats that make cameos too, I'm like 1/5 of Geek House. 1/6 of Geek House. I don't know. But anyways, Avalon is not feeling well, so she's not here right now. But we do have one of our cats, that's Babel, sleeping over there, and others will kind of wander in and out over time. So, because we have Babel, we have Hobo, and we have Magneto, and they wander through. But right now it's just me and Babel. Yeah, we're Geek House. We're another reaction channel, and we do other stuff like Let's Plays, and we do movie reviews and stuff, but we're mostly reactions. So, yeah.
And then I've got Prince Alex next.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm on the channel Prince Alex. It's my own channel, and I don't know, I do a huge variety of things, mostly fandom related. So.
And finally, we've got Hell's Mirror.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm from Hell's Mirror. I'm doing it alone. But yeah, I'm doing reactions at the moment. Maybe someday something more, but at the moment I don't have time to do much more.
All right. So this is gonna kind of loosely be organized with. We'll start with Volume 7. What we like. Does anyone want to go first?
I can't if no one else will. Real quick, Dean Barry's in my chat. Hi, Dean Barry. He was going to be part of this, but he couldn't get a schedule. If you haven't watched his channel, you absolutely should. It's another fantastic channel.
Mm-hmm.
I know Murder of Birds was trying to schedule it too, but he couldn't. So there are a lot of other people who wanted to be involved, but sadly could not. But we do have a good group here.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I thought RWBY 7 was fantastic. Personally, I know that certain people had certain reservations about certain things. I did not. It has some of personally, just keep it really brief because I know we're going to go into detail over time. It has some of my favorite moments throughout the series, and it personally has my favorite fight in the entire series, which is RWBY versus Aesop. Team RWBY versus Team Aesop is personally my favorite fight in the entire series. Super cool. So, but overall, I thought it was a really good volume. I thought it had a really good ending, but it just makes me really mad, and that we have to wait for the next volume. But that's what they're supposed to do, so I get it. My only reservation, and there's nothing we can do about this, is that we do not have a season of RWBY Chibi in between this and the next volume because I miss my RWBY Chibi. But that's it.
I guess not. I mean, I don't know, but
What?
they've been quoting Neptune RWBY Chibi like every 20 minutes.
RWBY Chibi is fantastic. I love it personally. So, and we didn't hear anything last RTX about it, so I really doubt that we're going to get anything at all. So they probably would have announced it already.
They've been focusing too much on RWBY, normal RWBY.
Yeah, which is good because the quality shows, and I'm cool with that. But I also love RWBY Chibi.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's fair. It's valid.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next.
I'll go next. I agree with you on the fight. That has to be my favorite scene. My favorite fight scene out of the entire series so far. I do like the development of Weiss and Winter. That's the most notable one was Weiss and Winter and her development, and also seeing their brother kind of get thrown to shit for what happened to him. That I do wish to see more of Winter and Weiss coming back together in the next episode, in the next season. Excuse me. I'll keep
Real
that
quick,
short.
the more Weiss you can get in there, the happier I'll be. So.
Best girl.
Yeah.
Best girl.
Yes.
Best one.
Well, I mean, Weiss is awesome. She RWBY. Best girl is no, okay?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I can get behind that.
All right.
Yeah, should I go?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Volume 7 more from a storytelling perspective because they have so many like morally gray opinions and stuff like that, and I'm a big fan of that. So I kind of like to see how they have like different opinions on stuff, even though I don't agree with some. But I think they did that very well this volume. So I'd say that. And
So if it hasn't been obvious,
was great.
if it hasn't been obvious, there will be spoilers all throughout that. You should know that if you're in the chat. We're going to spoil the shit out of the volume. You should know that by now. So
for everyone, I figured 8 hours gave me time to get on with work because I work Saturday.
Yeah.
But also gave everyone time to watch the episode before they came to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a lot of you have been lucky. We have not had our reaction cleared yet, so nobody's watched our reaction yet.
Ours cleared just a couple hours ago, I think. So
yeah, mine are late, so you may be waiting a while.
I had more than 1 or 2 weeks this volume where I forgot to put the episode up until like 2 days later. I'm like, oh
yeah,
shit, that should be up on the channel.
I usually put them up on Mondays, so
Jesus,
it's gonna be cleared up.
I'm not that fast.
Put Middleton for Clara when she's not understandable, so sometimes it'll be Thursday. I'm finally done. Anyone else want to go?
Bruce.
Okay. I'm kind of split. I like the RWBY, Team RWBY and Aesop's fight, but I really like what they did with Neo with the 4-on-1.
That was very cool.
Yeah,
I wanted
so
more of that.
Yeah,
Same.
exactly. So that one, I was kind of like, okay, she is the definition of grace at this point. So
Those split legs.
toys with everyone with 4-on-1. So I think that kind of became, let's say, 51-49% between the two. It's that close, but yeah. As far as like anything overall that I really liked. The pacing was really good because it started out kind of slow, but at some point in time it was the running down a hill and not being able to stop. and so those last 4 episodes or chapters really just kind of ran together real fast.
Yeah.
Yes, someone in
so-
my chat said something about being a bit rushed or something like that, but I honestly don't think so.
Yeah.
Sorry if
No.
that's your opinion, but
Well, I mean, even the people who didn't
Yeah.
like it, gotta respect their opinion, unless they're dicks about it. Which case, whatever.
Yeah,
You can
no,
dislike
that's-
something all you want.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk about it. That's all I ask.
yeah.
That's literally the only rule in our Discord.
Yeah, that's what we say
Yeah.
in our. That's what we always say. Like when we end a video,
Yeah.
we're like, comment down below, but just basically, be excellent. Don't be a
I
dick,
always-
and you're
I
welcome.
always say comment nice things, so
Yeah.
I don't think it was
All right,
rushed at all. It felt like the middle of a volume to me. Like, volume 7 and 8 are like a big volume, and this one felt like the climax in the middle to me personally.
It's like the first 3
Yeah.
seasons of She-Ra. It's just like should be one thing, but it's a sorry,
Yeah.
no one watches that probably.
I watch Hero.
I watch it. I just haven't watched since past season 2, and I need to catch up.
You
haven't
need,
watched
Get up.
it.
you need.
First episode.
It's one of my favorite shows. You should.
Yeah.
Has anyone else not gone on
Catch
describing their favorites of 7? Anybody?
Alex.
I really liked. It's like probably a small thing that not a lot of people think about, but I really loved watching Penny and Ruby's relationship develop further.
Oh, hell
'Cause,
yeah.
like I noticed that with Ruby we see like all of her friendships and like her relationships with everyone else, but like Penny hasn't had anyone before Ruby. Like Ruby was her very first friend, so getting to see that again and then seeing her become friends with Winter sort of too at the same time, I adored that. I missed Penny a lot, so I was really happy to see her again.
Going off on that, something I really liked this volume was about Penny as well, is that they gave her a lot more of characterization, which was something I was missing in the past volumes, because I personally I didn't feel a lot when she died in volume 3, just because she didn't have a lot of screen time before, so I didn't get too attached to her. I mean, I was sad, but I didn't cry like with Pyrrha. And I think volume 7 gave her a lot of good characterization and a lot of more character to her. Going off on
me,
that.
On Penny's death and not being sad about it, what happened for me was I started reacting to the show way late, obviously way after everybody else got into the show. And I had there were certain channels, I'm not going to name names, no one here, who happened to put really big spoilers in their thumbnail. So I had her death and I had Pyrrha both spoiled for me before I got to them. And they weren't quite the gut punches I kind of wanted them to be because of that. But
that sucks.
That happens.
Yeah, it does.
Like I've already seen thumbnails with Maiden Penny, like already, and I'm just like,
Seriously.
people like today. Come on.
Well, that's bad.
I mean, in hindsight, it's obvious, but still, don't
I
spoil
know.
people.
Yeah.
I think
Don't spoil.
Bowden still has to go.
Yeah, I still have to go.
We'll go.
Volume 7 to me, Volume 7.
Yeah, you have to go, obviously.
Volume 7 wasn't my favorite volume, but for sure. But I think the animation was awesome. The pacing was good. There were some plot elements that I thought were dragged out a little too long, but the pacing towards the end was really good. Some people who say it's too fast. No, I would have loved the whole season to have been that fast paced. Personally, my favorite fight, unfortunately, is not in this volume. It's still Yang versus the Bandits, Volume 5. Sorry.
That one was great too. That's a good one.
But my favorite aspect of this, if I have to pick one, is probably Winter, and getting to see her again. That isn't a character short. Getting to see her in the main story.
Yeah,
getting to
absolutely.
know her character more, getting more character development, finding out what her emotions are like, what her feelings are. She's got her loyalty is very important to her. It's number one, almost like it is for Ironwood, except. And we saw bits of Ironwood having a lot of doubts and emotions and feelings as well, although he's kind of gone a little over the edge. But she's got all of that, but she's still very loyal. I mean, it's all summed up at the end when she tells them all, turn yourselves in, and if you're not going to turn yourselves in, run. It's all summed up there. So I love Winter for this one.
There's something I want to say about Winter's development, but I'll say it after everybody's gone. So.
Okay. So I we're last. Fine. I'm a big Nora fan, so one of my volume was Renora and the way they treated it, because it wasn't perfect. I mean, it was great, but what I love is sometimes you see this a lot with less skilled or more inexperienced writers. You get kind of two characters who are together, but they're not really main characters. Because as much as I love Nora, she and Red, they're main adjacent. Jean's kind of a main character, but they're just sort of there for Jean. And so usually when that happens, we characters who are just kind of, well, they're together and they're happy, but no one's ever happy. Even if you love the character,
That's a hard way to put it, I think. That's a pretty extreme stance.
No one's ever happy.
What I'm trying to say here, aside from my foot in my mouth, is that even when you love someone to death, even when they're your soulmate, you want to be with forever, you're gonna fight.
You gotta work at it. Yeah, you gotta work at it.
Yeah.
When no matter how much you love them, you're gonna have little fights. You're gonna have big fights. You're gonna have, and so to see Renora have that realistic relationship. Clearly, they care about each other. I mean, you mentioned the Neo fight, the 4-on-1. Ren couldn't attack Nora because, couldn't attack Neo because she wasn't scared Nora, and he was like, "No, I can't."
And then that messed with him a lot right after that.
Yeah,
I loved that.
Yeah, very, very good.
So,
that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
so I really liked that level of detail in writing because it's something that a lot of writers sort of just they gloss over because they're so much worried about all the other aspects of their story that they don't.
Because it's in the background. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you're like next in line.
Oh.
My love, my beautiful, my soulmate.
Careful, she knows where you sleep.
Because I did something. You know that much. You like the dog's bed, right?
If you share with me,
he ain't gonna share with you. I think my favorite was the moment when Oz came back and he was like, "I'm not the one who saved you. You saved us."
Oh,
that was good.
That, like, there's a lot of growth going on with Oscar that they're not really showing, but what they are showing, I really, really like. I liked when he punched Neo, which I love Neo now.
That was a good moment.
That punch was great.
I saw a lot of people complaining about that moment. Apparently there was a miscommunication between the writers and the artists.
Yeah.
Where Oscar was supposed to come right around the corner and she was supposed to be standing right there so she didn't see him coming. But I still thought it was a cool scene.
Yeah.
But I think it was I see it as less like she's not fast and more like, is he really gonna try to punch me? This guy? Really?
This scrawny kid.
Yeah, this kid.
And I think what I didn't like was we didn't get enough Maria.
Yeah, she was in, I think, literally like, she was in like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
She was in like 2 scenes. Yeah.
I was actually afraid they were gonna get rid of her, but
yeah.
But they did need her to fly the plane at the end.
Right, they need a pilot.
They needed a pilot. That's all they needed.
Julius, your last. Anything else you wanna add in? What was your favorite part before we?
She took mine.
She took it.
Yeah.
You told me go first.
I told you what I was gonna say.
I want to add Clara, and she said her favorite part was when Oscar activated his special power when Oz woke him up. That was her favorite part.
Oh, okay.
Similar to yours. That was hers.
So real quick, Avalon, what was your favorite? If you had to pick a favorite moment from the volume, what would it
be? Silence.
What was that? One second.
I think it was Bryce visibly cringing from being asked to go dancing with Blake and Yang.
Oh, her favorite, if you didn't hear that, it was Weiss visibly cringing when she was asked to go dancing with Blake and Yang. That was her favorite. That was her favorite moment.
We're going to the movies.
Yeah, we're going to the movies. Real quick, what I wanted to say about Winter's development before I forget, because I will, is I think one scene in particular really, really, really showed her. Good writing is when you can show a lot about a character without a whole bunch of exposition. Though exposition can be awesome, obviously, but the scene where she is at the meeting with Ironwood and Robin and her father, and you see her just kind of like tapping her foot, and she's just like doing everything she can to stay stoic, and then just has that incredibly brief slip up, which he wanted to happen, tells just so much about her, in my opinion, and her history and her connections that I think her giving way more than her giving a speech would have.
Yeah.
So I thought that
Yes.
was a very cool moment. And then the scene she had afterwards with Penny, any scene she had with Penny was pretty much gold.
Yes.
So
I love that friendship.
Yes.
She got a
I'm
new
sure
sister.
I'm sure it caused many ships to sail, but
No.
I thought they were
Oh,
cool.
no,
Are you kidding me? It's Ruby. Literally, there's literally a ship between everything, including inanimate objects.
There's
So
a ship between Ruby and Crescent Rose, so
yeah, exactly.
anything
Talk
goes.
about-
Oh yeah.
Which honestly is probably the most realistic for Ruby.
True.
As much
True.
as I
Yeah.
love her and Weiss,
Yeah.
that's probably
True.
the most accurate for Ruby.
Guns and Roses.
Yep, Guns N' Roses. Nice.
Yep.
So before we move on to the next thing, I'm just gonna open up anything else that people like that didn't get mentioned. Did you guys want to chime in?
I got one. I liked how there's certain characters who are kind of like, I don't want to say going crazy, but they're starting to lose it a little bit. And the voice actresses that were able to really convey that.
Uh-huh.
So like the most recent chapter was Cinder.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
her
yeah.
voice,
That was
like
amazing.
like it was such a loud or such a like type of style that like
Jessica's come a long way in her voice acting from
Yeah.
Cinder's introduction to now.
She
I definitely want to say that. So
and then Winter, same thing in this
Mm.
scene, kind of towards the
Mm.
end.
Yeah.
Like you could hear her breaking down, like
Mhm.
and doing that convincingly and stuff like that. So over time, obviously everyone has gotten better and better at embodying their characters and doing what they're doing. But it was kind of like, okay, new bar is set.
yeah,
Let's see where it goes from here. And I like the fact that someone mentioned earlier that 7 and 8 are supposed to be very much a part 1, part 2.
yeah.
And it felt very much like an act 1. And so now we're waiting on act 2 of a kind of that longer
Oh shit!
arc.
Hitting the fan.
In our
Yeah.
Waiting.
in my podcast, we talk a lot about we cover science fiction shows. And we talk a lot about two-partitis, where a show that had an episode that is 2 parts.
Mhm.
Quite often, unfortunately, they suffer from two-partitis, where the first part knows it needs to get to a certain point to cliffhang, right, to end that episode. So the first part is usually not that good because it's a lot of padding, a lot of moving around because they're trying to set things up, but it's not very entertaining.
All the
But
exposition.
Yeah, all the exposition, all the development to get to that point. And then part 2 is usually just amazing. So I'm looking for William May to be just amazing if this is the case.
Someone in my chat just said Neo is best voice actor. And, I want to say that she does have a voice. She does have a voice actor in the video game she's in.
She does.
I think her voice actor is probably the best
Casey.
singer.
Yeah, it's Casey. Casey voices her, but she does all like the little hit, ha, like the little sound effects. But it's so she technically has a voice actress in the video game.
I once had a headcanon that all songs are just like from Neo's perspective, narrating everything.
Nice. There was one other thing I wanted to say, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yes, one other thing that really blew me away was the one scene we had with Weiss's mom, but in particular because it wasn't the relationship I expected her to have with her, and I loved that because they really could have easily done the really simple thing and make her mom as shitty as her dad.
Right.
But they didn't do that, and there's problems clearly with her mom, but her mom is not her dad, and they did that. They showed so much about her once again in a single scene, and I just loved it.
Hug her mom? Why? That irritates me to this day.
Oh, that she did not hug her mom?
That she did not hug her mom. I mean, she hugged
Well,
her
I think
She
shit's
runs and
real
hugs her
complicated. I still think things are complicated between her and her mom. But like she
But it's
seems
not like
surprised when
yelling
her
at each
mom.
other.
Yeah.
Like she seemed surprised when her mom, obviously like had the camera and was spying on the dad, but she also like clearly trusts her and loves her more than her dad, who she will. She was very gleeful about, you're under arrest. Can I do that? Which was, so.
Oh, that reminds me.
I mean,
So Brandy was just chiming in. She agrees this is like an SVU episode. They take 2 minutes to get you all invested in the character and the relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
When we were talking about favorite moments earlier, the one that I totally forgot about until Joey was talking was when Winter basically told her dad, "You'll shut your mouth."
Yes.
It's like, okay, I'm on board. It's like I've been waiting for this for a while.
He deserves it.
Especially after like she didn't come out of the jet after it landed or the truck until
Yeah, until he left.
It's waiting for him to leave, and she shows
You
up.
missed your father. I wouldn't say I missed him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, also, Winter with her hair down. We got that too.
Oh,
Very
Jesus.
grateful.
Yes.
I'm salty over Weiss not having her head down.
The courage of her to get back into that fight with her aura down. She knew
Yeah.
her aura was down, but she fought a maiden with her aura
Yep.
down. Wow.
Yeah.
So good.
She did that.
All right, what's next?
Well, so next, if we're all good, we guys didn't really like as much about the volume because nothing is perfect.
Without being too negative.
Oh,
Well, as I said, you can dislike something and not be a jerk about it.
No downers.
so I'm worried about being. There are a couple of reactors that I would be like, some rules, no attacking roosters. None of these reactors people are known for crapping on roosters. He's unfair. So
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Someone else go first because I've got a not like I think it's perfect, but I'm like super easy to please. Honestly,
It's hard.
So,
I'm
like-
the same way, Joey. I'm the same fucking way. It's like I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of
I
something
have
hate,
a
I'm
few
like-
things. I have a few things that I want to happen, but they could happen in like Volume 8, so I'm not like it's not that
Oh, yeah.
I dislike
Yeah,
it.
like I understand the pacing and not having it this season, and like I understand having it next season if we're gonna get it. But I would have liked the Bumblebee kiss this season, but like there was no appropriate plot point for it. That would like it needs to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
the perfect moment for it, and we didn't
Yeah.
have one in this, and I didn't want it to be forced.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like I get it, but like part of me is still like, but Oh, another moment that I thought was amazing because I can't think of anything bad. When Ironwood shot Oscar was an amazing scene. All right.
a lot of people disagree with it.
Yeah, well, you know, I thought it was an amazing scene. So
It was,
I think,
but
I think Ironwood's a great villain. So I see him as a villain.
I wish we
Now,
had-
yes.
I think
I
he's
wish
gone
we
down
had,
that
more
hole.
Raven. More
You said
Raven
more
and
Raven.
Ty.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish
Oh,
we
yeah.
had them more, but I understand. Like I'm the same way, like Joey. I understand. Like I don't want it to be forced either, but it was just I wish we had just a little bit and a little bit more of Maria.
Yeah, I just don't see where it would fit. That's the same
Yeah.
thing where I'm like, I want it, but
Mm.
now I got to think. Do I want anything?
I
Someone
mean,
else go. Well, I think.
I only have
I
one
kind of
thing.
wanted a little bit more of resolution with Whitley and maybe like Willow talking to him a little bit or something, but
Yeah.
it may still happen. I don't know.
Right.
It still just felt very open when they showed him in the end, just running away.
I have a big negative about this volume that isn't a case of I wanted something to happen and may still happen. It's a case of how things were done. And a lot of people express this negative, which is it seems so forced. And again, we're going back to two-partitis. It seems so forced that Team RWBY or RWBY, because somehow everybody was following her, took so long to tell the truth to Ironwood. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. It made sense in the first 2 episodes, but after that, it made no sense. And every episode was like, tell him the truth. Tell him. It had to make it paced out though, because they had to drag that out because they had to have him crack at the end from learning the truth and all the stuff happening at once and all that coming down on him and him just flipping out. So they had to drag that out. I understand why they did it. I just didn't like it.
I
honestly got mad when she did finally tell him. I was like, I would have. No.
like I can see that side definitely, but I can also, especially after almost every interaction they've had, person in an authority position over the course of the entire series, especially people who seem like they're allies. I can see why she didn't, and then it was only out of desperation that she did. Like I think that her not telling him, I don't think that telling him would have made anything better. I think it would have added other things to him and other pressure to him, and I think he would have spiraled earlier. If she was like, BT dubs, we can't defeat her, and then he would have had a whole season to spiral, and it would have been even worse by the end of it. That's mine.
I don't think he would have necessarily put out the arrest warrant for him. I think if she had been
I
more
think
honest, he would have.
other shit would have happened.
Yeah,
he would've been
other
depressed,
stuff
but he
would have
thought they were
happened.
on his side.
Yeah. I definitely see where you're coming from. The ones I can't see are the people who are like, her not telling him makes her a true villain. But it's the same people who are complaining when they're like, how could RWBY, like, who are saying that Team RWBY were evil at the end of the last volume for stealing that ship and attacking all that stuff. And I'm like, I just don't. I can't wrap my head around. Anyways. Anyone else have things they don't like?
I don't know.
I have one
feel
thing.
like they wouldn't have told them because they've been let down by almost every single authority.
That's what I was just saying. Yeah, like literally all of them. Yeah, literally all of them.
But also Ironwood was sorry.
No, go ahead.
But also Ironwood was already being a dictator like back in volume 4 almost. He was already being a bit too authoritarian. Like
they've kind of presented him as semi-shady since his introduction.
yeah, I haven't trusted that man since volume 2.
Like he was doing Mantle super dirty. Why would they trust him with?
Yeah.
Like,
I think Alex wanted to say something.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm bitter about, mostly about this volume, is that we didn't get I Burn Part 2. Because it broke the pattern of getting Part 2s for all of their original themes. And that was like the one thing I was looking forward to. And then they didn't play it, and I was like, no! The pattern!
Maybe in the album. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the music also kicked ass this volume. There were so many perfect scenes where like they kicked the music in at just the appropriate time, and you're like, yes. Like once again, the RWBY versus Aesop fight where like Yang and Blake land, and then the song kicks on.
Yes.
Or the fight in
Ironwood
Gravity
versus
between
Watts.
Ironwood versus Watts, which was my favorite fight of the entire series until the next episode. Then I'm like,
that fight was great.
yeah.
Amazing.
Caleb Hiles, I didn't recognize his voice in the beginning. Like when I watched it, I recognized that later in editing, and I was just like, holy shit, how did I not notice? I love him.
Yeah, I screamed as soon as I realized it was him. If anyone watched my reaction video, you'll...
I think I remember that.
I didn't recognize him.
My big complaint was that when they saw the new outfit, Blake's new weapon had a super long sword, and then she came in and her sword was regular.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
My other issue is we didn't get a makeover scene. They went straight. We didn't get any of that, and we didn't get fancy outfits. But they weren't there for a party. They were there in an official capacity, so I understand.
Still,
we didn't have a dance as well.
It could have been like a Dance Dance Infiltration thing, just for this one thing. Formula.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Rooster Chief. The more outfits you design, the more merch you can sell. Think.
Exactly.
The more cosplay.
Yeah, exactly. Avalon at RTX, she did Oscar, the most recent RTX. It was pretty
interesting.
Cute. She had like the short hair, so drawn some freckles, and
they could have actually given Yang a colored dress this time.
Oh my god.
Yellow or purple.
Yeah, what were we saying?
So they had a missed opportunity there. They could have had another dance scene with Junior to distract Whitley.
Yeah.
Dean Barry says, my biggest complaint, not enough time with all of Team RWBY. I missed Blake.
Yeah.
And like,
she didn't say anything the entire last episode.
It's true. We did get some cool moments with her, but they were all her and real just Yang or just Blake stuff. Which, once again, where would you fit it over the course of those episodes? So at least as written. Obviously, if you redid the pacing, but I get that. I would have liked more Neo, but I was surprised we got any Neo because I honestly didn't expect Salem and Neo to show up until the next volume or like the last scene of this volume. So getting them like 3 episodes or 4 episodes in or whatever, however many episodes in, I was pretty pleased.
You know, one of the things that that kind of bugged me was so RWBY had her moment where she kind of broke down, which was good because she's been the most positive person the whole time, right? Yeah. And you want to convey that idea of like when the best of us breaks down, that's when you know we're in real trouble, kind of scenario.
Yeah.
But so my complaint isn't the fact that she broke down, but she recovered really quickly. And I don't mean like a few minutes, but like the second that he said, Ironwood said something about the lamp. Keeping the lamp. And she was automatically just kind of fine and said, I thought you said we could keep it. It's like, well, wait a minute.
I think she'll have her moment once she has a moment. But it's been like...
Exactly.
It's kind of a defense mechanism.
Hardcore repression. As soon as there's like bigger problems to focus on. So it's like, gotta focus on that real
Mhm.
fast.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I mean, they
Yeah.
could have done it a little bit like slower, showing how she changes a little bit, like as if she struggles to focus on for a moment.
That's all I'm
Maybe
saying.
do a little bit more with her facial expressions or something.
I saw somebody, I don't remember what reactor it was or if it was on Instagram or something, because I'm not really on Twitter anymore because I just get spoiled whenever I go on Twitter, so I just ignore it now. But like, unless I'm posting that I posted a video, but someone made a comment about they were wondering why she had that, like that Martha moment, if you want to use a BBS reference. But it was because someone said that Salem basically took away Ruby's like one really, really good memory and like kind of soiled it by
Yeah.
saying, being like, your mom said the same thing and I killed her ass, is basically what she said.
Yeah,
And
twist the memory around.
and twisting it and that like really just kind of like, and I liked that.
I like how they showed that though.
Yeah, they should like
Yeah.
so good. I thought it was
Seen
strong. Yeah.
The sunrise or the sunset behind Summer and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and then the second they flipped it over, it was like the dark clouds and all
Yeah.
That's
Very
screaming.
good.
Visually showed
about
Yeah.
that. About that scene though that we're talking about with
Mhm.
Ruby's kind of breaking down. Can I back up? And am I the only one that thinks Ruby was really dumb for telling her enemy the secret that she had that her enemy didn't know she knew?
I didn't even think about it that way.
On Salem and get
Wow.
Salem on her.
Never
on
thought
nerve
about that.
She was giving her an important secret in their war that she had that she didn't know Salem knew she had.
I didn't think of it that way. You got to think of it this way: like she's a good warrior, but she's not a tactician.
Yeah.
She is kind of runs off her emotions, which
Yeah,
normally
I
works
think that
really
showed
well
the
for her.
naive side of her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Go
really
ahead.
great. And it's actually the same point I always brought up with people complaining about the end of Volume 6, is that Ruby's kind of and John too, but they're kind of reckless. So that right there was kind of a stupid, reckless do, but it's exactly what you'd expect her to do.
A kid, like
Yeah.
they're some of the best fighters out there, if not the best, which they made a point of this episode. But like, they're still kids who are still sometimes reacting like kids, which
Yeah.
for better or worse. Yes, that was a dumb decision on Ruby's part, but I think it was a purposefully dumb, if that makes sense. Like, I could see that fitting her character because she tends to be very, very brazen.
As someone who teaches high school age kids and some college age kids, it's very accurate. You see it all the time. You just throw all the kids under the bus with that statement.
But it is true. It is.
Ruby was still thinking.
Yeah, with a big family like I have.
I think Summer's still alive. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me.
I'm curious if I can do something
I'm
like that.
50-50 on that.
I think she is.
Does anyone else have any other complaints about Volume 7?
I
We need
have
more Tai Yang,
one.
That's it.
Yes, I want Tai Yang.
And Swan.
That's
I
more
want
Tai
Tai Yang and Raven.
We want Sly.
But I just wanted to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say something about Renora that I love it, but I think they could have done a bit more with it this volume. You know, I felt like there was a couple of talks missing after the kiss at the rally. There was some parts like they jumped a bit into being a bit more normal, and then having Ren being all
I think
bootlicker.
part of that is that like they're not getting the chance to have that healthy conversation.
Yeah.
Because like every time, because they had that moment, and then they had that the really funny conversation where it's like, who are they talking about again? I don't even know, which was really funny.
The parallel.
But parallel to but the fact is they had that moment, and then immediately there was the slaughter. And then they were immediately dealing with the next thing, and then the next thing, and then they had that. Yeah. Then Ren had the breakdown because they've never had a moment to sit down and have that healthy conversation, or just even an unhealthy conversation. They haven't had the moment to have a talk, which I think is also like a build-up kind of thing.
I just think there could have been a moment between episode I don't know 7 and 9 or something. Because at the party Ren was seemingly normal again. Just a tiny conversation. That's what all I would have asked for Renora. Because other than that, I'm very, very pleased with it.
Yeah, I'm chiming in for Brandy because she keeps nudging me to do that.
Okay,
She
yeah,
said
absolutely, absolutely.
she feels like what was it? That Bumblebee got more development.
Than Renora did. They honestly like focused a little bit more. We saw more of their relationship, which wasn't even fully like out there for
Right.
us.
It wasn't.
And like, okay, we're getting back. There you go.
Hmm.
That's what it felt like.
Okay.
I can see that.
So, if we're done-
Someone, go ahead.
Oh, I was
I was just saying, I have someone in my chat who said that John says he wishes he would have seen more Faunus racism, which I can see that because we didn't see
Yeah.
much of that. He says he would have preferred
Yeah.
Blake be the voice of Mantle, not Nora. And I could see that, but that's also, I also kind of see where like Blake stepped away from that being her fight. Like, I think that's kind of part of her development is that like she's kind of, it's not that she doesn't care, but like that's just, she's moving on, so to speak. So I could see her why she's not the voice. Plus, it gave us some Nora development, which is something we've had like not
because-
much of.
Yeah, Nora was in a situation that was similar to the people of Mantle when she
Mhm.
was young. So
Yeah.
I can see why she was the voice.
Absolutely, yeah. But I do agree that seeing more Faunus racism wouldn't have been a bad idea.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of that with Marrow, because we could see his reaction to things, and like he got really upset, very briefly, but he got upset when he saw the Faunus servant at the house.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh, yeah.
not a bad idea. I'm gonna patrol. So like it was subtle, but it was there, I guess, if you were looking for it. But it wasn't like outright like being beaten up in the streets. No.
I didn't even notice the thing about Marrow getting upset about a Faunus servant. It must have been very subtle because I have no memory.
Well, it was very.
It was
brief.
mostly
Crow.
looks.
Yeah, it was Crow turned down the alcohol, and he was like, "I'm gonna go for a walk." And then you saw Marrow kind of look, and he looked at the Faunus specifically, and he's like, "Not a bad idea." And then he like went off because he's mentioned a couple times about like the mistreatment of Faunus. Like he's pointed out situations about it. So it just seems like it was there, but it was kind of shown through his reaction to things and not seeing Faunus in cages and shit. So
Yeah.
I think it could have worked with both Blake and Nora, you know, like a Faunus and a human perspective on the discrimination of Mental. Because Mental isn't just Faunus, obviously. The people discriminated there are also humans. So it did make sense to me that it would be Nora as well. Because Nora is the one that's been the homeless one. And, you know, the one that suffered the most with that kind of stuff.
We never got the Nora backstory. They promised us this volume.
I wished. I was so expecting it.
Yeah.
all right,
So
next.
So we're moving on. I think it was Brett that said Summer's alive.
What was that?
Is that
That
unanimous?
Summer is still alive. Summer's still
Oh
alive.
yeah.
I think she is. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's in a cell in Salem's Place or her eyes are gouged out. I don't know. But we've never seen her body. Nobody has talked about her actual death. We've had Salem in this volume just hint that she might have killed her, but nobody actually showing us that in flashbacks. All the flashbacks are alive. There's no body. We saw
because
Lots alive, even though we thought he was dropped into lava. I mean, I don't think she's dead.
Yeah, because they've specifically mentioned that she never came back, and so like the grave is more like a marker.
That's
it's
true.
not an actual body. So that is a good point. Yeah, she could absolutely be alive.
And they get really uncomfortable anytime she mentions it, and they don't get that uncomfortable when people mention death around them. They've seen death, they've dealt with death, but every time that she mentions it, Crow kind of like stiffens up, and then Oz doesn't want to talk about it, and stuff like that. You kind of notice too.
So this is something that all right. So we have Summer's supposed death, not kind of sure, and a lot of people would default and say, "Well, we were told that she was dead," but the person that said it was Jeff, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Jeff's not a writer.
Right. Jeff's the one who suggested it, maybe. Like
Well, he writes the songs.
Yeah, but he's,
So he's a writer.
I actually didn't know who you were talking about. I'm like Jeff.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry, Jeff the music. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Now I know what you're talking about.
So when he mentions it, I'm not sure if that was if he said it because the writer said yes, this is definite, or if it was a suggestion of when you're writing these tunes, this is what we need to convey. And so the assumption was that she actually is. So I'm not sure. I basically put it this way: unless it's one of the actual writers for the show says something, then it doesn't count.
Or like,
also-
go ahead. Sorry, no, you go first.
He also said like it wasn't about Red Lake Roses Part 2. At least wasn't specifically about Summer's death. It was about Ruby's perspective of Summer's death. So if
Exactly.
Ruby is convinced that Summer is gone, then there's no confirmation there that she actually is gone. It's just Ruby's perspective of that.
Right. So, so it's the influence of approach this song this way.
Another
But not
example is
necessarily.
another possibility is basically how I run D&D, which is come up with an idea, leave it open enough. If 12 sessions down the road you have a better idea, they never know that you switched out the idea, so you just jump right in.
Yeah, you didn't.
Well,
I just got a comment in the chat from the Skyheart 5. Don't forget, at some point, Salem went from killing Silver-Eyed warriors to wanting to capture Ruby. So that is an interesting point to raise there too.
Yeah, because that's a good point.
Well,
so maybe Summer is captured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, to ruin theory, I think Summer got captured, and if one of the things Watts was working on was grimifying people. And what if he grimified Summer, and then Salem eventually sends this brainwashed, grimified, silver-eyed warrior after Team Ruby, and that's how she gets reintroduced into the series.
Well, a
It's
silver-eyed
dark, I like
warrior
it.
who's grimified would be
It
taking
would
itself
be,
out.
but it would be so
Would
cool.
it work on a silver-eyed warrior though?
Real quick, John Johns just said in the chatting, and he said, Monty animated the Red trailer and Ruby at a grave marker because he felt that all great quests start at a grave. It was Jeff Williams who suggested that it was her mother, and then it became her mother, I guess. So, that's pretty neat.
So it wasn't
Torchwick
planned
could
from
jump
the
out.
start.
No.
Right, yeah, someone's like, well, yeah, absolutely not. But someone's like, if Summer comes back, that means anyone can come back. Adam back, and God, I hope not. But I'd be happy for, I'd be cool with someone's like Torchwick could jump out of the mouth of that grim whale.
Yes.
I'd be cool with that much more than I would be cool with Adam returning. He suited his storyline purpose. He's done.
Torchwick returning would be great for Neo.
Right? Yeah. And then her and Torchwick just kill the fuck out of Cinder. Which I'd be sad to see Cinder. I'd be really sad to see Cinder go because I love Jessica. But I mean, come on.
Cinder has exceeded her stay.
Unpopular opinion. I don't like Torchwick.
Oh, I thought he was great. I mean, he's very early Ruby, which take that as you will. But
It kind of just bored
I don't,
me.
Seriously want him back. I'm not campaigning for it. But I wouldn't be too pissed if he showed up. Because we don't get him at Ruby Chibi because we have no Ruby Chibi. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get him anyways because isn't that dude not with them anymore?
Yeah, it's gray.
With HBO now, right?
Yeah, there was a big thing about him, and he's not really working with Rooster Teeth anymore. So that's not going to happen. Unless, they can recast him. They did it with a very, very good new Crow, in my opinion.
Grimify him, and he only speaks in growls.
Well,
no. He needs his lines. He needs his one-liners, and his self-censoring.
David has something.
So, we have a comment from Game Guy, who I'm pretty sure Game Guy from the Discord. Yeah. He was saying in our chat that he thinks that Salem was having Watt experiment on the Silver Eyes to either learn how to neutralize them or how to co-opt.
Not a terrible idea. I mean, I could see that. There's so many different storyline directions they could go right now because it's so open for a lot of things. I hope that we see. What's that other continent? Vacuo. I want to see Vacuo at some point. That's the one we haven't seen yet, right?
I want to see.
Only in the novels.
Yeah, that's right. I have that novel and I haven't actually read it yet, but I want to. It's just sitting up there with my 30 other novels I haven't.
It's amazing.
I kind of ordered it while pre-ordering the second one, and it still didn't come. So maybe it's just coming with the second one.
Oh no!
I don't know.
I know the basis, and I really want to read about the awesome and all that, but I have not read it yet.
I don't think I have a. No, sorry. I was just saying I don't think I have any complaint about the novel.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
What I think would be really cool is to find Summer was from Vacuo, and she left school in Vale, but she left behind maybe her dad, who could be the grandmother or grandfather in the Red Rock Tale, and maybe somewhere in an oasis back to Earth Desert.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Ooh.
Tying more back into that.
Live action prediction,
Could be cool.
That'd be cool.
That is not a bad idea at all. That'd be pretty cool.
Mhm.
I've
One second.
seen.
Avalon, is there anything in particular you really want out of the next volume? I'll let you know what she says.
Use the needle for Avalon.
I'm sure she's trying to think of a snarky answer. One second.
Mercury and Emerald. Oh.
Those are the best.
Snarky answers. What is that like?
Shock's gonna have a complete 180 and end up being a really big badass in the fight against the bad guy.
No.
I don't know if you overheard that or not.
I just want to like the Schnee kids visiting him in jail, and just like.
What was that? Huh?
Wimpy? I can't remember the brother's name.
Whitley, not Wimpy.
Whitley.
But I mean, sure. I'm actually really curious to see what they're gonna do with him, and I really liked that about you. With us, thought that was great because he is a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I like
what about
I
Whitley?
don't know. I like his character.
Oh, Whitley's gonna die.
No.
Protecting Whitley.
Yeah. And then he's gonna turn out to be a total badass and fight against Salem.
Okay, all right. We'll see.
Okay. I'll see her.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
We have another theory in our chat from the Red Fox saying, "I've got this crazy idea, but at this point it might happen. What if Raven helps Crow escape from arrest by
what?
By what?
You cut out. We didn't hear that.
like she portals into Crow?
Oh,
arrests
portals.
him, and she pulls him out.
Oh.
It'd be a really
great
interesting
way to
way.
escape.
It'd be a great way to
Awesome.
bring her back. It'd be a great way to bring her back in.
It would be
Which
a
I
very
think for-
Ruby way of doing.
Yeah, portal to
Yeah.
Crow, and then portal to Tai away, or to Yang or something.
Is
Dean
anybody
Barry-
else? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying Dean Barry is saying that Volume 8 is going to be the Empire Strikes Back series. That's his view. It's going to be
Okay.
huge losses, insurmountable odds, supreme villain meeting the ragtag heroes, etc. And I could see that as an example of what it's going to be like. Because this one doesn't have because Empire ends with super we lost in every possible way, which we didn't quite get in this one. But I could see them doing because we know they're renewed for 2 more volumes. We don't know if there's any past that. Am I correct? Because so far I know that.
Volume
Yeah, better do.
9
Story in that
for the
volume.
group.
Yeah, I think so far I know they announced at RTX they were officially renewed for 8 and 9. But that
I don't know.
I don't know if that means that it ends at 9 or it's just we'll see how it does financially and then we'll renew it for more.
I do remember them ages ago talking about how every 3 volumes was supposed to be a season, and then there were going to be I think how many seasons? At least 4 seasons. I think I remember them saying.
I mean,
So,
that's fine.
I
Keep,
don't know if
keep,
that
12.
happened, but
okay,
Makes
so my
sense.
veins. I'll keep watching it if you keep making it. It's fine with me.
Yeah.
yes.
But-
I mean, we still have to see Vacuo and then go back to
Yeah.
Beacon and Vale.
Yeah.
So to tie 2 of our predictions together, the scene I want, Summer is alive and she comes back, and let's say she travels with Ruby, and they eventually get back to Beacon at the end of. Why is Max here?
What the question is, why wasn't he here earlier?
Oh.
I want to see Summer run into Raven and Ty, and her be like, "What are you doing with my husband?"
Nice, yeah.
Don't get me started.
I just love all the memes of Ty and that's kind of inappropriate, but Ty and every member of the team have made some very funny
It's
memes.
canon.
Yeah.
It's canon.
Yeah. I do want to say that I want to my hat's kind of off too. I'm not going to get into the Crow's last voice actor stuff. I don't want to talk about that at all, but I do want to say I did really like the guy for the season. I mean, it's not, I don't remember, what's his name?
Jason?
Okay, well, Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But you can, in the front one, you can tell it's not the same guy, but at the same time, I still does an exceptional job. And I think at certain points he's better because there's certain. I don't think, personally, but I thought he was very good. It could have been way worse. So.
Oh yeah.
The first
I thought it was fine.
not on board, but
Yeah.
and on because he's sober Crow, trying to better himself and all of
Mhm.
that. It honestly felt like that voice actor did a really good job because it kept Crow, but it also grew on him because it was hey, he's sober now, he's doing better for them. he kind of got that slap upside the head. So
John Johns brought up the question. We're talking about the moms, and he said Real House of Vale, and I thought that was instead of Real Housewives of Vale. I thought that'd be.
Housewives of Vale.
Wow. I just had a comment.
I wouldn't mind that.
Don't you all want to see Atlas fly over to Vacuo?
Yes.
God.
That would
be amazing.
I want to see an amazing fight scene taking place on Atlas as it. I'm sure we're gonna get that. I don't want Mantle to get smushed, but I want to see that amazing kind of fight as it falls. I think that'd be pretty.
I have a question for the beginning.
Yeah, Avenger style. Yeah.
Yeah, Avenger style.
I have a question for the beginning.
Sokovia.
Okay.
A lot of reactors and a lot of fans have I think incorrectly, made the assumption that Team RWBY and the people on that ship are departing the area. But they made a real big point of I think it was Yang calling out your huntsmen, your huntresses. You don't run from the fight.
They're not abandoning it. I never thought they were abandoning them.
They're going to turn around. They're going to engage in the fight.
I never thought they were leaving. I personally never thought they were leaving. I figured they were going to rally and figure what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I never saw.
Reassess the situation and then go back and fight.
You need to see Penny fight that whale.
Yeah, I think anyone thinking that is kind of forgetting. Exactly. Everything they've been saying this entire season and kind of who Team RWBY is. They might have a moment where maybe someone breaks in the team and they're like, we should just run, but that won't last. You know what I mean? They're going to shake them out of it. They'll have a real emotional moment. And
I wonder if that's going to be Neo turns into Pyrrha and then John just fucking breaks.
Oh.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would crush the fucking audience. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
as soon as I saw Nora, I was afraid of that.
How many seasons? We're still not.
We're never gonna be over it.
But okay, one question: do you think Neo will turn on Cinder in Volume 8?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I want her to so bad.
No,
yeah.
It's no question. She's
that last scene just.
I think what Neo wants to do is she wants to take out RWBY and then she wants to take out Cinder. But obviously it's not going to go that route because they're not going to kill off RWBY. But I do think she's going to turn on Neo. Cinder. I don't think she's going to become a good guy.
Cinder.
Yeah, 100%.
She doesn't trust
I
Cinder.
want her to be I really want Neo to turn into an anti-hero. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if she wasn't going to change, even if she had decided she changed mind with the team, I think at this point she would turn her simply because she is tired of being disrespected.
Avalon says, so you say they're totally going to kill off RWBY. So that's her next theory.
Yeah.
Definitely
for sure.
Oh, those crackpot theories.
David, I think David's right though, because you got Neo is basically sick of Cinder shit at this point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That look on her face when she took the lamp from her, it's
she didn't even say thank you. She just took the lamp and walked away.
Yeah. I mean, Roman actually probably recognized
he cared for her, in his own weird Torchwick way.
And Cinder's just no.
Yeah.
She's just using her.
Yeah.
You're a tool.
Yeah.
So again, Red Fox is saying that he thinks.
What was that?
We were cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have another comment from Red Fox saying that he thinks they should just go. Turning around is a bad idea. They have
they do have the Winter Maid, but
they're not. I mean, there's no way they're turning around.
A lot of innocent people. They won't.
That would be the smartest move. They're not going to do it.
John John says, and I have something I want to say about this. He says, only problem I have with Neo killing Cinder robs Jean his opportunity for revenge. And I don't think he needs that opportunity for revenge. I don't think that's the direction his development should go.
No.
Because that doesn't seem the way he's focused.
Yeah, he's getting over it.
At one point. Yeah, I know he did. And a couple volumes ago, he had that whole, I'm going to make you pay. But then I think that also kind of shook him out of that. And I would like to hope he's moved beyond it.
Yeah,
especially after being at Pyrrha's statue.
Yeah, that scene totally did it for him, I think.
I think it would be kind of like a Jaime Lannister-esque step back in his character development if he decided he was going to suddenly kill
Oh, don't bring
Quote
that
for
up.
revenge.
Sure.
Jaime Lannister is back.
Oh,
I'll bring her back to my twin sister.
That is
She's gonna hold my
horrible.
coat.
Sorry. I didn't mean to sidetrack, but that's just what I meant. I think it would be. I think him seeking revenge at that point would be a step back in his character development.
you just had to bring that up, didn't you?
I know.
I mean, if the opportunity arises.
Bill Sotheby says Neo could backstab Cinder, but that sets her up for Jean to take her out. I could see that happen, but I don't want it to be like Jean being all consumed with his need to kill her when he sees her. I just don't want that because he seems more than that as a character. At least I like to think so.
Yeah, here Andy Ross was saying Jean being able to save a character, Weiss, overrode a lot of his desire for revenge, and I think that's a point
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
And yeah, and okay, so I'm curious about something that I might have misunderstood or I didn't understand. The green globe that went around Oscar, was that Oscar semblance popping up for the first time, or was that?
I think it was
Oz.
Osmond.
But Osmond
think
specifically said, "I didn't save you; you saved us."
It was
Oh, it was
Osmond's
Osmond.
But I think it's
But
the
Oscar
magic.
accessed it.
I think it's just the Ospen magic that we had. I don't think it's the semblance because we saw the energy thing in Volume 3 at the end in the fight against Cinder. So it
Okay,
has to be something
so-
that they both
And you
have.
saved us means more than just the fall.
You're right. That's why that just
just
kind of clicked in my head. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, wait!"
Yeah.
So it means as people, and that makes the line make more. Okay, that just clicked for me. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Because that's what I was like. Oh, okay, cool.
His cane lit up, and then he also said, "This is why I have the new memory." So I think basically Oscar is he gave Oscar the necessary memories.
Yeah, they're starting to merge more because they're supposed to start merging more over time. So I think that's
Was that the time thing stored in the cane? Because the cane
No,
was
but
set
it's come-
to store time or something like that.
Well, no, they've confirmed that at a certain point that the cane is not one of the relics.
No, not
Yeah.
the
So
that
relics.
was a big-
Not the relic. Not the relic.
Oh.
But the fact that the cane is supposed to store time or something like that. I remember that being a thing. That Ospin's cane stores time. And the fact that it did lit up and then Oscar regained Oz's full memories.
Yeah.
Maybe it was from that, the memories stored in the cane, I guess.
Possibly.
Could be.
John
Just
says,
occurred to me.
My only fear in the show is that they might Tony Stark Ruby in the end.
Oh boy.
I hope not. But-
Please don't.
Oh god.
Avalon just
I
went,
couldn't
yeah.
handle it.
But that's just her feeding off other people's fear. Yeah. I want to see Winter and Ironwood come into conflict next volume. I don't see Winter full on joy because that doesn't seem to make sense after the finale. But I absolutely want to see her confront him at some point about the decisions he's making, which unfortunately I don't see going well for Winter. But I still don't see Ironwood full on killing her. But it really depends on how hard they're going to double down on his crazy, which they really did last volume. Yeah, which they really did the last episode with the whole "you can call me General" bang scene, which was like, well,
He's gone.
Shooting in the children now.
I was so pissed.
Yeah, that was the first comment in my chat when we were just getting started was, have you guys discussed the murdering of children yet? We were talking about that episode.
I mean, it's always a lively topic.
Yes.
If you were one of my men, I'd have you shot. There you go.
Yep, that's a good point, Coix. Oscar activated it, but the shield itself is another sign that Osmond merged. Cool. Yeah, awesome, good stuff. So, I don't have a favorite song from the volume that stands out. I don't have the soundtrack memorized, but like,
I had a song in the beginning, like "Brand New Day" was kind of my feel-good song for quite a while. But since I can only listen to the version that was in the show, and then Chapter 12 happened, I didn't feel like a feel-good song listening to that anymore because I went
what
his
scene
voice.
well,
Yeah.
For me, it was I think that the once again the Ruby Aesop song, the one that when Yang and
That one
Blake.
is great. Yeah.
It's fucking. I haven't listened to it outside of the episode, but I just feel like, so good.
Mhm.
I
So
like
good.
that one and the one with
both
Ironwood.
singers, that is wow.
Oh, real quick, like Avalon and I are going to be doing soundtrack reactions soon. But the way we're going to do them is live streams. So if anyone's interested, there'll be announcements about it on the channel later. But we're finally gonna do those because I only reacted to Volume 1 before, and everyone's like, "Where the fuck are your soundtrack reactions?" They're finally coming. Yeah.
Soundtrack wise, I think the one that I like the best so far is Until the End, which has when Oscar's falling.
Yeah, we didn't hear too
Mm.
much of it yet,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
kind of want to wait until we have the.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I like about it though is so Casey wrote that one. It wasn't
Oh.
Oh
Jeff.
wow.
Yeah, right.
So it was all her, and it sounds very distinctly her own. It doesn't sound like something Jeff wrote. It doesn't even sound like her dad's style. In fact, it sounds more. It sounds almost like OK Goodnight, which is her band.
Okay.
It has that
I'm
kind
gonna
of
have to listen to
kind
it.
of thing to it.
Mm.
But yeah, so and the lyrics are they're kind of. I mean, we put that one lyric video up, but the lyrics are kind of hard to hear if you're as you're watching it.
Yeah.
You know, because you have Winter's dialogue, and of course Austin's talking over everything too. But yeah, the sound of it's very distinctly hers, and I really like that because it's really cool to hear artists come in. I mean, this is musician talk now. Sorry, but
Oh.
but it's really
lost-
cool
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
to see somebody come into their own, like figure out their own sound.
Oh
their
yeah,
own
absolutely.
their own style.
Everything okay, David? There, you looks like you're.
I have no idea. I think that something went all Schwaco.
Technology.
Yeah, you can see it. Well, I think it went to it kicked us out of full screen and went into the window again. So you have a picture shot of you guys rotating through and me destroying the window. Because apparently, if I would go to thumbnail right now, like if I were to go to Discord, you guys just go through each of your pictures in succession.
Ooh.
That was a really good song. The fall song was a really good one. Until I hear the whole soundtrack, I don't think I can pick a favorite. But
Yeah, same thing. Like last volume, I kept being,
Waiting.
this is my favorite song. Then I'd hear another song, and then I heard the whole soundtrack, and I was like, damn it, I can't choose one. And I think this volume's gonna be pretty similar.
So we have
they're always songs better for different occasions. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I would have put them into categories probably. It just.
What's up, David?
So Shannon Hollis, who I'm not sure is the same Shannon or not.
It is.
She said, okay, she said her favorite song is the one that played during the Renora.
Oh, I forgot that one.
I think I was just so distracted by the.
Yeah, our over help.
Yeah.
I was just fangirling the whole time, so.
The song also that kicks in every episode, whenever they have one lyric songs kick in, like in Gravity when Ironwood like first shoots himself back up and that song kicks in, I was like, oh hell yeah! Like scene instantly goes from being good to great, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, Arnold said something today on his live, stream of the reaction or the scheduled stream of the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is the only time that I've ever contributed to the RWBY thing at all. But he actually called the maiden quartet of the four, because there's the four vocalists. But he had said something about that, and
that's awesome.
I couldn't put, when I made the lyric video, I couldn't put all their names in the title because it would just eat up all the room. So I just named it the Maiden Quartet. And of course, the first thing that happens is everyone's like, "Oh, I don't think the song's not about the maiden." So I'm like, "Oh God!" It's like, let me explain this real quick. It's like sometimes you name the ensemble that has nothing to do with the thing. So I forget one of the vocalists. I'd have to go back and look because I'm really bad at names right now, but saw that and said that they really liked the name of that too, and I was like, cool, I contributed for once.
Bruce is fangirling.
Great.
It's like, great, that'll be the first and last time. So we're good.
So
so pessimistic.
Red Hot says that they want to hear the song that plays when the fight between Team Ruby and the Aesop, not War, but the instrumental that plays before.
No.
Ooh, yeah. That was good too, yeah.
Me personally, I love the instrumental piece.
I can't think of like any songs that I didn't like, so I guess that's a good sign. But there was a song where I'm like, I don't like that specific song. Like they all suited the scenes they were in, and I have to sit down and actually listen to the soundtrack, as I said before. I can be like, I like that one, I don't like that one, whatever. But pretty sure they're all great because they pretty much always are. So.
Once they release the soundtrack, I'll put it on my gym playlist. And
I'm not kidding when I say.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not kidding when I say that RWBY is literally the only thing I listen to, so I'm very excited to have more stuff to add to that.
Yeah, I have a really big playlist, but every few songs there's a RWBY song just because there's so many of them.
That's like me and the Life is Strange soundtrack.
Well, unfortunately, I use YouTube for my music, which means now my playlist is shot of RWBY songs because of Flynn deciding to step back and take all his videos down. I'm like, no, I've gone from having every third song being RWBY to having every 11 to 12.
I noticed that yesterday because I was binge watching all the volumes during the last week with my friend who just started, and I was showing her a few songs, and I was just like, where is the Flint version?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I use Spotify, so I only get it once it's released as like an official soundtrack.
Yeah.
He and I talked about that, so he's good. But yeah, we had a brief discussion about that. As for the Volume 7 stuff, you'll be covered.
We're gonna be like living with my password number.
Well, you'll probably do it right.
Maybe.
we did lyrics.
Yeah, well, soundtrack reactions are always a little bit easier when you have lyric videos.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Especially if you're not a speaker. Actually, if you're not a native speaker.
I can only imagine.
Definitely.
Only imagine.
Don't worry, it'll get covered.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That conversation has already happened. Don't worry.
That's the thing. It's like we're gonna finally do our streams about the soundtracks, and all those videos are gone now.
Right.
Much less easy than it used to be to do those, but it'll be fun. I'll just like bring up the lyric website and like be like, all right, here's the lyrics. Not as cool.
Yeah. Easy lyrics.
So
Well, a little bit earlier, someone commented and said, what would you say to the Aesops if you saw them again? I thought that would be a really interesting question. Just like, I would probably ask Harriet what is up with you? Because Harriet just went crazy too.
Well, so did the woman with the hammer.
Elm.
Whose name?
Elm.
Yeah,
She did too.
She lost her shit too.
Elm felt really betrayed.
Yes.
Yeah, the main one who was like, "What the fuck?" was Marrow, who's best boy. So
yeah,
it makes sense where he was like, "Stop it."
Like
that's just being chimed in out of nowhere. Like, what do you guys?
Yeah. Who's your favorite Aesop?
Marrow.
Marrow.
I think Harriet has one of the coolest character designs of the entire series. Honestly, I love her character design, but Marrow is the best character.
So what was hilarious is that I hated Clover. Like,
you hated Clover?
I didn't.
This guy, and they liked him. But then when the entire scene happened where he died, I was like, oh, well, I actually like. I think that. And they're like, no, he just. We're like, so I hated Clover. And then I was like, yeah, I like it. And they were just like.
I liked Clover in the double pack with Crow. If he would be like just on his own, I wouldn't be such a fan. But like in double pack with Crow, it made much more of an impact because I was worried about my baby Crow.
Yeah, you had no reason to be worried.
Right.
I think I spent like 2 minutes quiet after that death scene.
I had that. Okay, I mean, I started avoiding Twitter to avoid spoilers, but I go on there to like post when a new video's out, and unfortunately, Av's hours have been like she gets home at night, and that's when we were reacting to the episodes. So that episode, I hopped online to like post that a video had dropped, and I saw one image which spoiled it for me, which was it best new ship of RWBY, and it was a picture of Lucky, a picture of Clover, and then Crow's sword, and I was like, well, I guess I know what's happening. I didn't get the context. I didn't know the context. But
that was our pause. Let's calm down, Clara.
I noticed that I'm pretty much a masochist because I ordered the pins, Crow and Clover, the pins, and I was just like, why am I doing this to myself? But, you know. And I also like drew the picture. I don't know if you can see it because it's going to be pretty small, but I drew the picture of Clover and Crow after I watched that episode. I was just like, it was maybe like 3 hours later, and it was just like, I have to draw.
It's a way to cope.
Everybody in my chat's arguing over who Best Girl is now. People are actually saying that the best character, it's like Best Girl is spelled Harriet, is what I just saw. And then Elm, you misspelled Best Girl. I saw that one too. And it's just like all kinds of like, oh yeah, sorry. Okay, you clarified that was Aesop's only. I was about to fight you in the street for Weiss's honor. I guess they're just specifically discussing.
Yeah, okay, Aesop's.
So again, from our chat, we've got Red Fox saying he's wondering what's going to happen when Aesop gets the news about having a Clover. Interesting to watch that. And then Shannon was talking about how Clover was supposed to be opposite everything that Crow wanted to be. Opposite semblance, had lots of friends, esteemed huntsman.
Yeah.
And then evil was gone. But yeah, so he was supposed to be this. It is curious. What's going to happen when they find out?
I actually haven't thought about that. I didn't think that they're going to have another, but yeah, they absolutely are going to have another confrontation up next season, and it's going to be, a lot rougher. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Holy shit! I cannot wait for that fight.
They're like talking about being professionals and not being friends, but especially in some of the scenes, I thought that we were seeing like between Elm and Clover, for example, there was kind of like a buddy relationship. And I think that's gonna hit them hard.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. Oh shit! Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Oh man, that's gonna be really insane next season.
Basically,
excellent.
Clover's luck helped them.
Yeah.
They lost their luck, basically.
But maybe you wonder how good luck could he have been? I mean, come on.
Well, Crow countered it.
Yeah, that's the thing is Crow countered it. So when they were in each other's presence, they were just two guys. Instead of like unlucky guy and lucky guy. Yeah. So if he had not been with Crow, that like basically never could have happened to him. Because I imagine when he was not around Crow, he would be more like Domino from Deadpool 2 or the comics, where like shit's just working out.
Yeah.
But having Crow around, yeah. So
did you think that maybe Aesop did so badly because Clover wasn't there?
Oh,
it could be because they got used to Clover being around and giving them good luck.
That.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Could have
also one of the best lines of the season was or the show, in my opinion, one of the best lines was that whole, we're the best in Atlas, and the whole "you were" was such a great line. So good.
And you trained us.
So good.
More wrestling references? Oh my god, wrestling.
That's okay. We have to deal with Matthew talking about Lord of the Rings all the time. So, like every RWBY reference has something to do with Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Doing reactions alone doesn't do that to you.
I only have my dogs. They don't speak much.
Maybe that friend that I binge watched RWBY with could join me in Volume 8. So.
Hey,
yeah.
We had one other person join us for Game of Thrones, but he hasn't joined us for anything else. So,
sorry,
but he's not caught up. He's only seen up through Volume 3 of RWBY anyway, which I made him watch. So that's what true friends do: make people watch RWBY.
Yes,
I have spread it all over.
They make it sit down Clockwork Orange style.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah, entirely this entire last week was just like, okay, you're gonna watch RWBY now.
When I actually, way back on the channel before I started RWBY, we actually sat down a couple years back or whatever, and we sat down and we were like, all right, we're gonna film a reaction, and we filmed episode 1, with no context really, and we were like,
Oh.
oh no,
You
no,
forgot the
we're-
trailers.
we didn't like it. We were like, oh yeah, we didn't know the backstory or
All
like
comments
any of the
on this.
development or anything. Yeah, so we were like, we didn't even
Yeah.
put it out. We recorded it. We were like, not for us. And then like way later, I was like, you know what? I need more content. I'm gonna react to a couple episodes on my own, and just on my own, and I just fell in love with it. And then
Yeah, I remember
eventually
that
got
time.
her. Yeah, eventually got her to react it. And I know
was
people
watching
could
you back then.
people can argue whether RWBY's anime or not. I'm not even gonna get into that. But I'd always avoided anime until I started watching RWBY, and now I really, really like it. I'm watching a bunch of shows now.
It's a
So,
gateway drug.
It is.
Say that.
Yeah. I remember when you started saying that in your reaction.
Yeah.
Get out of my head, Barb.
Sorry.
Apparently, I guess Game Guy was tuned into the Reddit Aesop's AMA kind of thing they did. And he said that Clover's voice actor said that he was so nice to Crow. Clover was so nice to Crow because he had once also had that self-hating move. Which makes
was
me
that?
wonder that the Clover's voice actor said that Clover was so nice to Crow because once Clover hated himself in the same way.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So it makes me sort of wonder, like maybe he used to get used a lot for his good luck. Like nobody really liked him for him, and they just kind of was like, "Hey, let's keep you. Come on, I'm betting on the game," or you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, okay.
people resenting him.
Yeah.
Or that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Struggle is what makes us who we are.
Out.
And without struggle, with good luck.
Did anyone?
You have no struggle. You look back
Yeah.
at life and say, you know, everything's been given to me. My luck is just giving me everything. I'm not earning it.
Did anyone else see? Did anyone else see the on Instagram? Erin Zek was doing like she kept redoing the filter trying to get Blake. She kept getting everybody but Blake. And she did like 20 times, and then the guy who made it was like Mad Dr. Mark or whatever was like, crap, there was a glitch. I'm gonna redo it now, and then she did it again. She got Blake. But it was pretty.
She kept saying, she's like, "There's no Blake in here, is there?"
Yeah, and she kept and then she started getting. They fixed it, and then she just started getting the dark-haired ones that were Blake. And then she's like, all right, I'm gonna pull my hair down. What about now? All right, now what about this?
And then she put on.
She was very happy.
She put on the ears, the headband with the ears.
Oh yeah, that was.
Okay, that just does it for you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, John Johns. There's a couple channels like that. John John says, I wish Married to the Real Life with RWBY, they trailers. There's a couple channels that I follow. They did just the trailers, or they did like an episode and they never came back to it.
Right.
And it's like the first, and there's a lot of shows you say you can't judge a series on the first couple episodes or whatever. And I still love the first early seasons of RWBY, as I'm sure pretty much everybody here does. But for somebody who's used to modern day or like current technology and current stuff, it's a hard thing to approach unless you have an idea of what you're getting into and what it's going to be. Yeah. So I can see why some of those channels didn't, but I'm always sad when I see somebody walk away from it now before they really can enjoy it. Because basically give volume 1 up to, I think it's like episode 8 or whatever. And if 8 doesn't hook you, the fight with the Nevermore. If that doesn't snag you,
then
walk away. But like seriously, up till episode 8, what is that like? What's that like? 45 minutes out of your day to get to episode 8? Like that, maybe an hour. And
I think volume 1 is like an hour.
Yeah.
Volume 1 is an hour and 40 minutes.
Or that, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think Seska was like Yeah.
Because there's like a full version somewhere. I think
they put it
on YouTube. I think
Rooster Teeth has it on there. The Rooster Teeth has them on the channel.
Yeah, I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes long. Yeah. Not much time, to be honest.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Koick says, I think both Tyrion and Crow were better fighters than Clover was. I feel like Clover relied on his luck semblance to help get him through fights.
Yeah.
And he was only a good fighter because his good luck kept kicking in and making him move better, super effective. So when he was up against Crow, obviously, he didn't have that.
Also,
he
uses a fishing pole.
By Rooster Teeth's slow response to their block. That is a hard thing to deal with at the beginning until you get used to it. So I can see that.
Yeah.
And I know another channel is like might not continue because Rooster Teeth like monetizes everything you put out pretty much. Like you're not gonna, which is so she might not do it for that. But I get that. But that's what we make our money off Patreon anyways. It's like YouTube pays nothing. So
I only started making money with YouTube and stuff. So
we
I'm
make
not there
money
yet.
off YouTube, but it's not like money off YouTube.
Yeah.
Patreon though, we can get through that. But
you can't get that much.
Yeah.
I have
yeah.
a question for this group. I have a question for this group because we're talking about people getting into RWBY now and giving up and stuff. I got into RWBY because I was a big Rooster Teeth fan the whole time. I mean, I've been a Rooster Teeth fan since like 2003. And
Damn.
when RWBY came out, and I knew that some of the voice actors were people that I knew their personalities from the live action stuff. So I really got into it, and I stayed with it throughout that. I'm curious of this group, who were Rooster Teeth fans before they found RWBY?
I watched a bunch of RVB way back in the day, like when it was first coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched like maybe a season of it, and then I kind of forgot Rooster Teeth existed up until RWBY. So, but now I'm a huge fan, and now I watch like all.
Yeah.
But honestly, I love RWBY. My favorite show they do is probably like Always Open, and then the one that John hosts, where it's like a ridiculous game show on the spot.
On the spot.
But then I love RWBY and stuff too. But like and
Yeah.
Genlock, everything they do, I'm a huge. And their side channels, like I love Funhouse. I love, just as like the megacorp that is Rooster Teeth, which is owned by the megacorp, which is Warner Brothers. I quite like all their stuff.
I'm all about I quote that like 24/7. I actually yell out the door when he goes to school because we watch the Achievement Hunter animated, and he'll be leaving the house and it's like 6:30 in the morning, and I'll poke my head out the door and I'll be like, meow meow motherfucker. My name.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I was a fan of Rooster Teeth back when the Rooster Teeth comic was still a thing. Like
Oh yeah.
every week
He old. Okay.
Okay.
I found Rooster Teeth when they were doing season 3 of Reactors Blue on something called Sumo TV, was this Flash machinima site. I'm sure I got so many viruses from it.
Wow.
So that's how long I've been watching it.
For me, it started with RWBY, but I didn't really. I watched the Red trailer first, and then I forgot about it for like 2 or 3 years, and then I watched the rest because a friend showed the Red trailer to me, and I was just like, "Yeah, fun." And now why?
Okay.
And yeah, but then I found RWBY and Red versus Blue. I only what?
No. Be back running off to pick up our dog.
Okay.
Now, Red versus Blue, I watched like the first season, but I'm starting it now, doing reactions, like picking the spot of RWBY. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
But yeah, we are getting sorry, they're discussing in my chat whether or not season 2 of Genlock. We are getting for that because they're co-paying for it this time through HBO. That's how they're affording it, because season 1 was such a kerfuffle behind the scenes, you could say. And so the way it's a nice way of putting it. But they're figuring it out with Warner Brothers is now, because they're owned by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers can throw money at them and be like, well, we own HBO, so we're gonna finance it through HBO, which is why you get movies like Doctor Sleep, which have like huge, like Emerald is a huge part of that movie. So you get weird stuff like that, or RWBY being in what was the movie? Ready Player One. You get weird shit like that because Warner Brothers owns all of that.
Yeah, for all of a half a millisecond. I still can never actually watch the scene. I can't ever see it.
Have you seen Doctor Sleep? Because like Emerald's a huge part of that. Like they have a whole part where like the main little girl goes in like a dream sequence and she's Emerald.
Really?
I still have to watch that one.
I didn't watch the movie. I only watched the trailer where the poster is.
Yeah, she has RWBY posters in her room. She has Emerald because she's a darker skinned young girl who has illusion powers. And so she connects to Emerald. And like they never outright call her Emerald. They never outright call her Emerald, but it's straight up Emerald. Yeah, and the actress was a fan of RWBY beforehand too. So yeah, it's super cool.
Okay, I have to watch this movie. Maybe I'm going to do a reaction.
It's the sequel to The Shining. So
I watched The Shining. So.
But yeah, sorry. Who else? Other people have to say whether they were fans beforehand or not.
So for Rooster Teeth rather. So I watched Red versus Blue when it first came out because a bunch of people that I was friends with back in the day were all big Halo players. And some of them ended up doing what later became MLG and stuff like that. So they would hit all the competitions and stuff like that. So that's where I first got into it. But then, life gets busy, things take over, and it was always kind of in the back of my head, and I always thought they were funny, the first couple seasons, but never really like kept track of Rooster Teeth. And I saw stuff for RWBY as far as like shirts and things like that later on, but I didn't get into it until I actually heard some of the music for it that Jeff had written. And then I was like, man, if they put this much detail into this, then let me go check out, an episode or
Okay.
two. I was like, and then it hooked me there, but yeah, originally it was like hearing the music.
Sirs and madams down with you.
Yeah. How much of the show had you watched before you got everybody else to sit down to react to it? Because I know you were ahead of. Were you caught up except for the most recent season?
Oh, I had seen all of it, and Gustav had seen
Yeah, that's
all
what I
of
figured.
it,
Yeah.
which is why he was never
Okay.
in anything early on either.
Okay, I figured it was something like that.
Yeah, and
That's
Mary,
like with us. Like Avalon's seen all of Fairy Tale, which I'm reacting to. Certain shows, like she's seen all of, so she's
Right.
just kind of watching me react to that thing.
right, and Mary's does visual art, so I mainly wanted to show her because I was like, hey, I think you'd really dig this because
Mhm.
of where it came from and how they started out and stuff like that. And then Mary, I think you said something about like the first couple of episodes you're like, I hate it, and then like 3 episodes later you were like, okay, no, I really like it, because you were paying attention. You were paying attention to colors and
Yeah.
animation styles and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That was the thing for Avalon because she went to school for game art and design. She went to school to make video games, and so like for her, it's seeing art like that is really jarring to her because because even when she plays video games, she can't help it. She like will notice every bit of clipping
You will
and every bit
notice
of this
shape,
and that.
you will
Yeah,
notice coloring,
all of it.
you will
Exactly.
notice if you will notice if one patch of color is off in the stereo.
That's why like
Nobody
she
will see
hated
it,
the
but
like the
fucking see
silhouettes
it.
in the first season. All that stuff really threw her off
Yep.
because of it. And then she felt she grew to love it over time. But like I am a shitty artist and I know nothing about I know art history, but I know nothing about actual art. So like it was much easier for me. But yeah.
Alex.
How I got into it? Well, because when I first discovered Rooster Teeth, it was through a rage quit that was on Tumblr, and like I was so like it was so funny. It was one of the Impossible game ones, the one where it was like Swiss fucking cheese, god damn it! That line stuck with me forever. And then I went onto YouTube to try to find it, and then I just fell down the rabbit hole of just rage quit, and I developed a huge crush on Michael Jones. And then I found out that he voiced the character in RWBY, so I watched that episode in Volume 1 because that was all that was out at that time. I watched like the episode where Blake and Sun were fighting Torchwick. So like that was never like I never had that reveal for Blake being a Faunus because that was the first thing I saw. But, and then like I watched it, but like I wasn't super into it until like it was after Volume. I don't remember which volume it was, but it was like 2 years ago. So I guess Volume 5. I was following a autism Tumblr blog, and I saw someone was like, "Oh my god, my newest special interest is RWBY," and I was like, "I watch RWBY," and then I started talking to her, and then I just fell down the rabbit hole of it being like my main special interest. So now I'm just like, it's my life. I love RWBY.
It's great. Real quick, I wanna respond to somebody in my that's somewhat connected. They mentioned there's another channel that started reacting and then stopped, and that's the channel Struggle Nation. If you haven't watched Struggle Nation, their stuff is amazing. But yeah, M-Dog and they started it, and a Struggle Soldier, and they started reacting to it, and then like basically life got in the way, and I got him tickets to San Diego Comic-Con this last year, M-Dog. So he came down and we hung out because we go to Comic-Con every year and we get tickets, hotel room, all this stuff. But he came down and we hung out that weekend, and that's actually one of the questions I asked him because I'm like, all right, why did you guys stop reacting to RWBY? He's like, God damn it, we get this question on every video. And he was explaining that just like life got in the way and then it just kept tumbling. Like it's not that they didn't like it because they really did. But then it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, cool, no, this is the way I'll react to it like next week. And then like another thing happens and another thing happens. And then suddenly it's been like 2 years and you haven't put up a reaction to it. And it's something, but now that he lives on the West Coast and the rest of them still live in like Philly, so it makes it even harder. So that's why if people are watching who are seeing this, why they haven't, because I specifically asked him like, hey, now that I've got you here, where are your RWBY reactions? So that's why. And he's a super cool dude in person too. So people should watch the channel if they don't.
I remember those too, because like I watched through a bunch of those.
They're such great. But yeah, that it's always weird to me. Like when I'm looking through old reactions and I'll like follow a channel this is completely separate. Sorry, and I'll follow a channel. I'm like, oh, watch all the what happened to them, and like my imagination will wander, and there's all these like ghost channels out there. And it's, sorry, that's completely separate, but it's like so weird to me. Who else? Who else hasn't answered yet? Captain, I don't think you said when you.
I haven't said anything. No, I wasn't a fan of Rooster Teeth before RWBY. I think the only thing I watched from them was that Sims short they had. I don't remember the name.
Strangerhood?
I think that was it. That was the only thing I had watched before RWBY, and then someone in college introduced me to the red and the white trailers, and I was super hooked up. And then I had to wait like a couple months for the black trailer, and then when the yellow trailer came out, I was all in. And I watched Volume 1 and 2 live. Should have started reactions back then. And then when 3 started with the whole Monty thing, I took a hiatus that was supposed to last a couple months, but then it turned into 3 years, and I went back to it last year, last February, I think. So yeah, a year ago. That was.
Cool.
It was something similar because I had started. I watched the 2 volumes, and then life happened, and then one day I was like, "Hey," I went back in volume 5, and I was like, "Oh." And I had to go back and went, "Oh no, Paradise!" And I see all reactions. I wish last when them to RWBY we had a reaction channel, and then you could have watched them react, and then. It would be like that's the sort of line of big reactions that if anyone watches on our channel, where it's just pretty much I just stare at them the entire time. Like,
it's like I love reaction channels because like she like Avalon, she can assure every time we react to a new episode for something, we're like, all right, new, My Hero's done or new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. I'm immediately like, all right, it's okay. Who else reacts to it? I don't want to do it right now, and I'll go through and I'll watch everybody's reaction to it that I can find for any.
I love the genre. I love this genre. I wish I had found it sooner because I would have been hooked up on these videos like 5 years ago or more.
I even love I love less for RWBY and more for like really really big shows, but I love reaction channels that aren't in English. As weird as that might sound, because I love seeing the exact same emotions from like these moments where like. You see the show and you're like, or trailers. It's really big for trailers and stuff. And you just see someone freak out over the same thing you freak out of, and they're like on the other side of the world, and I'm like, that's so cool. I love it.
I don't understand you, but I do understand.
Yeah, it's like exactly that.
The emotion is still there.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that way with music reaction stuff because you'll have someone who's listening to something that there's one guy in New Jersey or New York who he will literally listen to anything you suggest, and he is a hip hop guy. Like that's his main, go to. And so people are like, you should listen to this heavy metal thing or that heavy metal thing, and he's like, okay. And then people started suggesting things like, you should listen to like Holst the Planets.
Wow.
Like these symphonic works, and he's like,
when we started collecting records, that was the first record to have.
Good choice.
Holst the Planets. Yeah, that was the first record she bought. Sorry, I thought that was music.
I've been able to actually play that twice, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, like I was making. I'm like I'm picking up like the Donna and like early Michael Jackson.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the planets are Alex Abraham, the guy who does the scores for RWBY. Those are some of his favorite works. He has like a playlist of like the works that he is inspired by a lot, and I'm pretty sure all of them are on that playlist.
Yes.
Very cool.
Nice.
Crickets.
Does anyone have a like not necessarily best girl, but does anyone have like a character they feel has like developed the most? They find them interesting over the course of the over the course of the series. Mine's Weiss. Period.
Weiss.
I like she's my favorite character. But
Nora has been my favorite character ever since episode 8. That moment she launched off a pair of shield into the air and just like giggles to herself. I was like, I like her.
For me, it was actually like I thought Weiss was kind of like I thought she was kind of meh, And then I did my first soundtrack reaction, and I got to her song, and I was just like, nope, she's my favorite character. And like instantly, I fell in love with the character, and she's been my favorite since. So it's the
I'm
one about
always
like the loneliest
fluctuating.
girl or whatever. I'm like, best character. What was that?
I'm fluctuating. Sometimes it's Weiss, sometimes it's like Nora, sometimes Yang, sometimes Neo. Those 4 girls are pretty much the ones I'm always.
Oh, Dean, interesting answer. He says Jean. A lot of people kind of shit on Jean. I think, especially nowadays.
Johnny's amazing.
Avalon calls
No.
him future husband. You also say he also calls John from Rooster Teeth's also future husband. As is a lot of people. I have to keep reminding her that she has a current husband. But, she doesn't care.
Who answers that question though, right? Your favorite character for me, it's Nora the whole time. But
Right.
but I like the Jean answer for a character that has grown the most or become
Right.
the most more interesting. I was thinking of another character, but yeah, Jean, I'll latch onto that one for that answer.
I really
like
liked watching Oscar develop a lot and
Yes.
mature up. I noticed him like very heavily at the end of the last episode. I was like, he's like so grown up now. What happened to the baby little farm boy? He's like an adult now, even though he's 14.
Game guy in my chat says Ironwood, protagonist to antagonist takes a lot of development. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
What about the rest of you?
Chat.
Favorite? Any of you have a favorite that we have not mentioned?
Okay.
He's had it open.
Oh no.
Always tease everyone.
Shopkeep.
Shopkeep.
Shopkeep best.
I think my favorites fluctuate between Yang and Weiss. All the
Both great
time.
characters.
All the time.
I can understand.
Since the
I
beginning.
default to Velvet. Just
Yeah,
because,
obviously.
every time someone mentions something in a chat, they're like, so and so's best girl. And I'm like, misspelled Velvet. I basically just like to like cover people, but yeah.
It's the accent,
As far
right?
as, like, yeah. As far as the development, it's I would say Weiss and Jean as far as development easily between
Yeah.
the two of them.
I like development too.
Someone brings up, if everyone hasn't answered yet, somebody brought up the question, what's everyone's favorite volume?
Hmm.
6.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
6 too.
I'm stuck
5.
between 6 and 3, honestly.
Last
man.
year, when I reacted to Volume 6, in the end, I said, okay, this taking the cake. This is my favorite volume now, and I think I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm 5.
3 is also up there.
Man. I'll look into that one. I'll check out that trailer when I have a chance. Thank you.
I'm going Volume 6.
Do you like
I'm
the
trying to-
apathy? Like
Ooh.
Volume 1? Or like Volume 1?
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good volume.
It's fun.
I have it memerized.
I think
Yeah.
as amazing as I think 7 is, and 7's very high up there for me. I think I have to put 3 as my number 1, mainly because it was such a shift, and it's really hard to pull off a tonal shift like that and do it right. And I think they accomplished that because it was a gradual shift in tone from the beginning of the season to the end. And the slow building dread and the slow building paranoia, and then last 2 episodes, everything goes wrong. And I haven't really seen that even in like, I don't want to say professionally made shows because that sounds shitty, but I mean like big budget, shows and stuff like that. Because at the time RWBY was not, and they don't even manage to get that right. And so I think 3 is my number 1. But as I said, 7 has my favorite fight in it. But that doesn't make it my favorite season. It just makes it my favorite fight. So I think 3 for me.
An answer to 2 because of his wife.
But it's also Max's favorite volume.
Zwei is amazing.
Zwei. I have a Zwei keychain.
Oh.
Jealous.
We have a bunch of RWBY merch back there that people sent us for our unboxings. Cool. Game Guy says
I have a
mention
couple.
this for him. He says Ironwood is my favorite character and Oscar is my second favorite, so the finale hit him really hard. Yeah, I
Ouch.
can see that. Oscar has had some amazing development that was mentioned earlier already. Agree with that. He's a fantastic, and I also, as weird as the scene was, I found the awkwardness between him and RWBY. I found it really charming.
Yes.
And I really liked it.
It was adorable.
So cute. So cute.
I quite like. I saw some people expressing distaste in it, but whatever. I thought it was cute. I like cute things.
It was weird, but it was
awkward and
adorable.
cute. Yeah.
They were two
Because
kids
I
because
have
they're
to-
both kids, and they were.
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Because
that?
I have to see it all the time too.
Oh,
Aw.
As somebody who deals with it regularly, Bruce, was it accurate?
Yes. Because you
Nice.
see that stuff happen, and you're in the hallway, and you just kind of roll your eyes. Oh God.
You were Marrow in that scene. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
still hope
basically, when I'm teaching high school, I'm Marrow.
I've been those kids.
Didn't hit you as hard. Oh man, didn't hit you as hard as that hip fire shot from. Rude. All right, sorry. It was.
I hope they keep the shipping down a little bit on RWBY though. I really like RWBY being focused on the mission. Like, we
Oh,
already
I
have
think.
Yeah.
I think romance can be tied in perfectly and still be based around missions.
RWBY can have a love
Yeah.
life. Come on.
I don't have an issue with there being romance in the show.
No, I don't have an issue with RWBY, her character.
Oh no, Ruby. Yeah, Ruby.
For her.
Yeah,
I
I
I
don't
would-
see. Yeah.
I would prefer
I
not.
would prefer
Weapons.
RWBY not.
Yeah.
herself have- You already have, Bumblebee, Black Sun.
I thought you meant the show as a whole, and I'm like, no. I don't know.
Her character, I like sort of the idea of her focusing on the mission. Just because, she's just sort of upbeat, wants to be the hero. So
Right.
that's her romanticized vision. So maybe not have any ships confirmed with her. I mean, I won't. I might be disappointed.
I like the idea of her having. I like the idea of her having like awkward flirting with Oscar, but not like it probably progressing too much past that. But them having like awkward interactions because they both are young and might have crushes on each other is perfect. Don't need more than that for them.
Teenage crushes.
Yeah,
That's
teenage crushes
all
is
it
adorable. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
See too much of it.
It's just.
Game guy says, so what would you do if you saw a child right in front of you? Ironwood. So anyway, I started blasting. And just...
I mentioned that the other day.
Oh my god.
Also, hello everybody in my chat. Got a bunch of people in there. Wanted to say hi. Haven't had a chance to. Hello for all you people who stuff. Lots of really great channels here. If you're not subscribed to these various channels, go check them out. They are all awesome.
And
They
then
all-
people who are chatting left.
Yes.
They all present different, viewpoints on the shows. They all do other shows. Well, many of
We're down to 6.
check the channels out. You are not going to regret it.
I only have RWBY right now, but I intend on having more.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
We had like 16 people in the chat and they were like very active, and then I left and I come back and it's like 6. And
Seven,
2 of them are me and
We-
David.
We're fluctuating between like 25 and 30. So
Yeah, I'm fluctuating between 15 and 8. So
it
I
happens.
have one.
It's like my Twitch streams are like me and 2 people most of the time.
Yeah, why not? It's intimate. Yeah.
Ironwood went to the Anakin Skywalker School of how to handle.
Oh no! Shooting up people.
Oh,
Yay.
Ken Mason asks if I can list all the channels. Everybody list your the people in my chat.
All right.
All right, okay, we have Surgeon Madams, Prince Alex, Hell's Mirror, Bowden Maddox, Captain
Obvious.
Obvious.
Chie.
Chai. Is it Chai?
Chie.
Chie. CHIE. And StoryFNDM. I think that's.
Yep.
Everybody, because we have 2 people from Surgeon Madams here. Yeah. Check out all those channels. They're all fantastic. Yeah. Yes, we have a Sir and a Madam. But there's much
Yeah.
more than the actual reaction.
It's like the mamas and
It's like the mamas and the papas, exactly.
Both Sterling and Matt, I guess, they both have work. From what Bruce has told me.
Yeah.
Wait, what I do?
You told me that. Well, Sterling, Sterling was talking about it earlier, but I know he had a gig, and you also said Matt had work. So I know a lot of people like tuning in for them.
Oh my god, yeah. So
Oh.
it's if there was ever a definition of organizing or herding cats, it was our
Yep.
Also, we had at least he was in the chat earlier. We had Dean Barry in our chat. You should check out his channel as well. He's also awesome.
Yes.
He was
Yeah,
going to join the
yeah.
channel. His channel is one of those ones that's just grown really, really fast. You should definitely check it out. But he was going to make it, but he's in Australia, and like we have other people here who's like crazy times. Well, at least crazy to me because I'm in California. Normal times for them, but yeah, check it out.
I think Dean's drawn so fast with the accent.
The accent is.
The accent.
Hello, everyone. But yeah, it's just great. I'm trying to think of other questions we can surface.
Yeah, my chat has gone pretty quiet right now. So
Yeah, mine is dead.
I all kinds. They're just kind of chatting about various stuff and saying hi, and well, Susan Adams is in there now, so you see what I'm talking about. But
So to all the people in the chats, if you want to ask another question, do it now.
yeah,
Yeah.
ask questions while you can.
Yeah.
What's up?
Game Guy had made a joke in mine. I'm not quite sure I did it.
It is a Susan Adams exception. That's right.
I would smiley face.
And have you played the RWBY board game? It's really good.
Nope.
I don't own it.
I have played Glimmer Clips only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it. It's pretty good. I've only played it once, but it's pretty cool. It's cool. We have I have the one with all the you've got Neo in it and all the expansions and stuff. It's fun stuff. It's like a bad guy. Obviously, you don't get to play her. She's there as a villain. Because as you co-op as team members, and each character is different, and then you have you choose a thing like we're fighting Cinder, we're fighting, Torchwick or whatever, and then they've got different stuff they do, and then it's you competing to try to beat the board game basically, and the rules control the board game. Obviously, it's one of those.
Maybe I should get that game because I have a group of people we meet up to play games. So
yeah, it's a good one for it. It's on the board game. So I mean, it's on the board game. It's on the Rooster Teeth store. And we went down to we go to the bookstore all the time near us, Barnes and Noble, and they have it even. They have a stack of them. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, the Barnes and Noble near us.
I need to get it.
They're in their board game section. I don't know where you are. It's here in San Diego. They have it. And it's worth it. I have a stack of board games I need to play more of, but that's just kind of how I am.
I got a question here.
All right.
Not sure if this was asked already. It wasn't asked already. But what were your favorite weapon upgrades or new weapons this season?
Oh, there were some cool ones.
Yeah, there were some cool ones.
I like John's.
John.
Yes.
John.
Yeah, John's shield was great.
Yeah.
And Yang's arm.
What?
Yeah, Yang's thing that she
the
can.
little grenades, with the bombs.
I like that one.
What's up, David?
The one thing about John's is I wish he got a ranged attack. He's still just stuck with a shield and a sword.
Everything's a gun.
It's sort of ranged. I mean, it launches a bit.
Yeah, I think Nora's is really cool. I especially like how she hits the button and the one fight and they have to switch directions.
Mm-hmm.
It spun around for her, was super cool. What were Ruby's weapon changes?
I think it was the same. Yeah, changes.
Okay, cool. Or was that her thing that did it? Not Nora. Okay, but that one was cool.
Both.
Okay. Yang's, I think, is what did Weiss's do?
Nothing, I think.
I don't think.
Okay.
Weiss is already OP. She has some.
Yeah.
She's fine. As we saw in that fight with her, she's fine. But I was just curious.
She learned to distract.
Yeah.
She learned to distract her enemy first and then summon.
Yes.
The same mistake as she did with Vernal.
And doing Freezer Burn alone.
She just instead of weapon upgrade, she just got more belts.
I like her belts. I like her belts.
You can never have enough belts.
I like all the costume upgrades.
I love her belt.
I live on TV tropes, so I was reading on there. I guess around the time they around the time of the mind fight that versus the Centipede and Sentinel, she looked like she had gotten the ability to almost shoot regular bullets out of her revolver, maybe small ducks. She gained a new ranged attack. It didn't require use glitch. So they were saying that she was hitting the Sentinels with that. So it wasn't something major, but maybe just something she shouldn't constantly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that to see. But
that said, she's OP as is, so she's doing fine.
Yeah.
That's why
And
they
lots
have
of
to
hair,
nerf
that's
her
right.
all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
What was that?
I think my
What do you
favorite-
want to be your superpower?
Okay,
Lots of
just out
hair.
of nowhere, the raspberry and cream Kit Kats, not good. Don't do it.
Gotcha. We picked up a bunch of matcha ones recently, so they're pretty good.
No, the
Green, they're
raspberry.
like green matcha Kit Kats.
It was just random. I know. I'm sorry.
She came to the birthday party with a goodie bag, so.
Ah,
Oh.
gotcha.
The chocolate one.
Oh, the mint dark chocolate.
I want to try
Do
those
it.
ones.
Do it. Sorry.
You didn't let me try it.
I know because
You
it was
ate
too
all of
good.
it.
It was good.
You ate all of it.
You're a dick.
They don't have Kit Kats in Remnant, okay? Stay on RWBY topic. I know that our channel brand is We Digress, but we're not alone here.
Anyone in particular next volume? Like, is there an interaction you want really bad? Is there a fight you want really bad? A
Yep.
moment for somebody?
Like I
What do we
said,
got?
Willow and Whitley talk. I kind of need that
Yes,
Ginny family
please, yeah.
thing to be resolved because that felt so open.
Yeah, we need that.
Where did you move him so you
I
don't-
want Winter to, turn around.
I don't need her to have like a full 180, but I do want her to like at least give Ironwood like a piece of her mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I still have
Salem, or
hopes.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
I want Taiyang to show up. I just like birds.
Yes, I was just saying, like, I don't see it happening, but some tie-in would be great.
Emerald, Mercury, and Hazel.
Just
maybe?
oh yeah, yeah.
Even just-
Hazel,
even-
Emerald, and Mercury showing up.
Even just cut back to
Yes.
Taiyang and him being like, it's been like 2 years. I hope my kids are okay.
just watering the plants.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe he's finally done in the garden.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's finally done.
Tanta cá. My dog is being a tsundere.
We need Zwei again.
Yeah,
Very important.
need more dogs.
Yeah, Someone says they're disappointed by the lack of rocket punch upgrade for Yang's arm. I could see that, like launching it like a rocket. Rocket punch.
But then she loses her weapon.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
I
true.
tried magic.
She
Yeah.
has to do the Maria thing, like Maria with her 2 sides.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the gravity dust. Yeah.
Just get it back again.
So, Game Guy is saying there Ironwood Anakin. That's what the Jedi children said to him before he killed.
That's why Taiyang saving Crow.
I don't know.
Hey, Geek Goddess, hello. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I want next volume. We're not gonna get it all.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, but there's gonna be a lot of stuff.
Where are you going? Right?
I want Willow to throw a Molotov cocktail.
Yes.
Throwing a vodka at Jack.
So we have Chocolate Rob saying, how long until they get the idea to fly into Monstro and let Penny and Ruth go ham on the inside of it with Dawn Boots?
Nice.
Which actually, Penny's going to go into that thing, right? Because it's the whale. She's Pinocchio.
Yeah, that's the exact.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
exact thing. Is that's totally Monstro from Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Totally.
She says that she can't wait for her to go silver eyes on his birthday.
One thing I'm worried about is flying monkeys and crow, because Scarecrow and flying monkeys
Yeah, we
that
still
doesn't
have
turn
to see
out
them.
well in Wizard of Oz. So worried there.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for that.
Excited but worried.
Yeah.
General Biscuit
Yeah.
says they're hoping for Zwei versus. So
He also mentioned them getting a Jean boost. That always brings me a question I always
What was
wondered.
Really want Ty
Do you
Shella
guys
to come
think
across,
that the silver eyes can be boosted by Jean semblance?
team
Like,
next
can we get
Ooh.
silver eyes?
That's
I don't think it's aura, is it?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Is
magic.
it connected with aura? I don't know.
I don't know if it's aura connected.
I think it's magic. I don't think it's aura.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
magic. I don't know.
Mm.
I
okay,
mean,
Avalon just
That
said
would
what she
be
wants.
pretty
Let me explain everything she just said. She wants Taiyang to encounter Tai Xiaolong. Sorry, his name is Taiyang. His name is Taiyang. It's one name.
Taiyang Xiaolong.
Taiyang Xiaolong is his full name. But She wants him to encounter, what'd you call them? Team Surfer Boys was Sun's team? Okay. Team Surfer Boys. And
Yeah.
like take them under his wing and like do training and then like show up with them. So which I'd be cool for, but like
Just let them wreck everything.
yeah.
Sit
The
in
question, does Penny really classify as a woman because the powers only go to women? Her aura is from a guy who said she's a robot. They've specifically stated that she has an aura, therefore she kind of has a soul, which is how they define it in RWBY. Even though it was lent to her, it was given to her. It's no longer part of him.
Right.
So you could argue well, you can't really argue physics about it because it's fucking magic.
What she is,
But
yeah.
basically, he basically gave life to her and made her. She is a person. She's made of mechanics, but she is, by definition of what she has drive. She has emotion. She has personality. She has regrets. She has wants. She's a person. She has an aura.
Yeah, I mean,
She's a person.
then you could also argue, like, could a transgender girl get the power or
Yeah,
not?
Yeah.
It comes down to like
what is the
counts.
point? Like, what counts? How far
I
does
think
it go?
Yeah, so I think at this point it's clear that she counts as a.
I think
as
it's
a
the
woman.
soul.
Yeah.
I mean, they proved it. They proved it with Penny, or both
So it's
the
not
fact
easy
that
to
she's
have
not a real girl. In fact, she is a real girl. I mean, the maiden
has a
powers.
soul.
Yeah, prove
Well,
it. She may not have the squishy
She's not a human, but she's a
parts,
girl,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Well, Freya is basically the blue fairy.
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Vengeance Cookie just said Zwei versus Cinder would be too one-sided. I mean, it's Zwei. Cinder's only a maiden. She would clearly need help.
Get Oobleck there.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then the Y cannon.
Yeah.
Just wait for Shopkeep to show up and wreck
Yeah.
it.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, Quick
That's
says
cute.
Shopkeep beats Salem single-handedly with the power of capitalism. He's got a monopoly. Like he's been shown to own pretty much business. So
Yeah, it unites the world. It
Yeah.
unites the world, right?
Yeah. True.
he's
True.
like Cabbage Corp.
Cabbage Corp.
Here, get that out of the way. It's money.
Capitalism saves the day.
Oh yeah, he's like the Nurse Joy of RWBY, is what Avalon. Like,
They're all clones.
Yes.
yeah, they're all clones. It's like Patton Oswalt's character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's just like,
That's true.
I agree, Terry. It's up there definitely for me. Terry says from writing, best volume. I think it was definitely up there. But yeah.
what I love,
Shopkeep is capitalism done right, Andy Ross.
Which is hard to do. So good for him.
one of the things I love, and this is funny because I was just thinking about it earlier when Mary was being a graphics person and seeing the art. Being a writer, is I love seeing like how I remember how angry people were at the end of Volume 6, but then you see the plot lines all connect. They had to steal any ownership. They couldn't get the permission because I went on their own fan theory because they had to go to Mantle first because they had to distrust Ironwood, and I really love watching seeing how much framework they put into this story. And
Yeah.
it's again that thing that writer, it's like there.
Yeah, as a fellow writer, I can agree.
Yeah.
Someone's saying that there are really good points here about how up until this point we've only seen the power of the maidens, which was originally Ozpin's power, transferred by being taken, but we specifically saw the maiden give it by choice. Like she chose the person instead of it being like the last person of their thoughts, which is a good point. Because he thought of his daughters.
You could argue Raven didn't take it. We know she did. She coerced it, but the implication is that the maiden willed it to Raven, even though Raven coerced it.
I actually I took that scene differently. I
Yeah,
took that
same.
scene that Raven killed her. I took
Yeah.
that Raven killed her.
That Raven
She
killed
fell.
her, and the maiden
True.
thought about her because she killed her.
Yeah, that's how I took the scene. That's why Yang
I took it-
reacted so badly to
I
it.
withdraw.
Yeah, and
That was why she was saying after that, did you kill her too?
Yeah.
Like
I
the
can see it
girl
in your
you were
face.
before.
I remember the scene. Yeah.
yeah,
I actually take a look at how Brent took it, where I don't think she killed her in a way that she either she killed her in her sleep or maybe she poisoned her, but I feel like she did build that bond of trust and then she killed her. But she didn't do it in a way of, oh my god, I'm my attacker. That was who she trusted. Maybe
I could see Raven just straight up doing it. I see it as like Raven. She might have built up trust, but like Raven is, and I don't see her as a straight up villain, but she's
well, and another thing
practical.
until the Freya fight is the Summer Maiden must have died recently because Cinder and Raven were on equal footing, but Cinder couldn't touch Freya. A fully realized maiden kicked her butt.
Yep.
So then this summer, the
You mean the
Spring
Spring
Maiden must have
Maiden?
died relatively recently.
You mean the Spring Maiden, right? Because you're talking about Raven being on equal terms.
Yeah,
It
well,
was the
we
Spring
don't
Maiden.
know. We don't know how long Freya actually had the power. She could have had it for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
and
The
gonna
Spring
say-
Maiden ran away like a decade
Well,
ago.
They were
so-
saying that she was a fully realized maiden. So she's a maiden who's a raven. Fully realized maiden. So she is, Freya at least was a maiden who'd fully come into her power. We know that. But
So,
fully realized raven,
it couldn't
that's
have
different.
been too soon. Sorry, it couldn't have been too soon. For Raven, because Raven is like 40 something, and there's like
Yeah.
that age.
experience.
No, but
Young
there's
girl,
the
for
there's
sure,
the
yeah.
there's the maximum age for maidens, I think,
I don't think
to
there's a hard
to
rule for
start.
that.
Not
I
hard,
think
but
just a
you know,
young, it's just a young
30,
girl.
maybe
Yeah, I don't think it's
30,
like
30
deadlock,
something.
where it's like you age out of it. But yeah. Well, I think it's because they want. I think it's more just like they would prefer a maiden to be in their prime
Right.
when they take it, unless like But I don't know. They haven't told us, so all we can do is give conjecture,
Yeah.
which is fine. But I'm just saying, like it's all purely conjecture. Yeah, someone's saying that John's Round says Raven had the power for less than 10 years, probably.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, 30 something. She's probably 40 something. I don't think she's way
It
above
was
40.
at least
Yeah.
recent enough. It was at least recent enough that other people weren't aware she was the maiden.
Yeah.
Even people who like they knew the previous maiden, but she was young when she ran off. They said that maiden was a girl basically when she ran off.
Yeah.
And
Didn't
I
she-
know Raven tried for years to try and toughen her,
Yeah.
never learned. So I mean, I don't think it was like 20. I don't think it would have been as soon as like when the girl started in Volume 1 at Beacon. But I don't feel like it was also that. Definitely, because they were on equal footing. I mean, that was also a great fight, but like Freya would have destroyed them both.
Yes.
Okay.
It was so cool to see the amount of cold that was, like seeing like the cold like burn away Winter's like glove. It was like such a cool little detail.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do we think the gods will be summoned at the end of the show?
That's what Salem hopes.
Could be.
Yeah, that's what Salem
Probably.
wants. That's Salem's whole plan, is because she wants everything to
She wants to
end.
be
So
destroyed. She wants to die.
Yeah, she wants to. That's
She
the whole
wants to
thing.
die.
So she wants to get the items together, the relics, so that the gods can be summoned, find this world not to be worthy, and
Destroy
wipe out.
it.
Yeah, that's what she wants.
And yeah.
I want more Team Strike. I agree. I want all the Team Strike. Give me Team Strike stuff. Or Stroke, however you pronounce it. STRQ. I want it. Stark.
Was it
Thank you.
Stark.
Stark.
I was trying to understand.
Whatever.
I was very
Stark.
yeah.
I've never really heard it pronounced. So Stark.
Stark.
I want Team
It's-
Stark
yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
I want Team
Give it
Stark.
to me.
Yeah. Ty and Raven showing up again is
And Summer.
We need to see Summer's weapon, and we need to see Ty's weapon. We need to see Ty's semblance. Everything.
Yeah, because Ruby took her scythe idea from Crow, not her mom. So we don't.
yes. So we don't know what Summer actually fight.
It'd be so funny if she would because we know Ruby got Rian got her fighting from her father, but it'd be so funny if Dainty Summer was a brawler too. Just like you never expected, but she would just beat the shit out of you in a fight.
I'm partial to the idea of her having an axe or a staff,
Oh,
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Harley
Look out
Quinn.
for Professor Port, huh?
Yeah.
The big mallet hammer.
She ended up not liking that.
Yeah. It would be interesting to have her have like a very heavy, big weapon.
Yeah.
So just,
Something you
like,
wouldn't
this,
see
little,
coming.
this little woman just like
But that's Ruby.
Sorta
right?
like Ruby, yeah.
Big
Sort of
brother
like Ruby.
thing, yeah.
yeah. Still.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do that. Like Kyoko has got Kyoko has the minigun. You know what I mean? Like that's just
Jesus.
kind of like that's very standard for kind of Ruby. Yeah, she has like the makeup box or whatever, her purse or whatever that turns into the
It's a
minigun. which
tote
is just like,
bag.
hell yeah. Yeah.
So Summers will just
That's
be
right.
like she'll have like a compact unit unfold shit.
Lord Darth Yoda says, we don't truly know Salem's end goals, it's only guess point. I think that's technically true, but I think it's unless there's like a really crazy weird twist later on, I think it's fairly clear where
It
rules are.
seems pretty obvious at this point.
But who knows? You never know. Like we have volume possible twists down the road that they could build up and then unveil. Like we don't know, but I think it would be a bit. At least at this point, with what we have so far, I think it'd be weird for it not to be your fault.
It's a valid psychological reason for a person who lived that long and had to endure so much that Salem did. Yeah, I would be surprised if it was something else, but I mean, it could still happen.
Someone says she wants the relic, so maybe she wants another crack at the.
At the killing.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't think it would work.
She has nothing.
Quick says, I think the maiden powers burn out the woman who gets them, so Freya was an exception for getting to be older. The maiden power was probably a big cause for her being so frail and her mind lapsing. Okay. I like to think that she was like that in spite of the maiden powers. That was just like she's beyond. She's just the maiden powers are incredible, but she's still a person, and she's a human who. I like that idea. Like the maiden powers burning you out is neat, but I like the idea that
define you.
Yeah, it didn't make her immortal. She was still a person under all that, and the person grew frail and senile.
So one of the things that I liked from even early on was that I like how they put it in there was that she had dementia.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, she's sickly. It's like, well, we can't let her go anywhere, or we have to keep watch on her because if she wanders off or if she's not attended to, who knows what's going to happen.
Who knows who she's gonna think of?
It's like sorry for spoilers, but it's like Professor X and Logan. Like you've got this ungodly power, but you're mentally deteriorated, and it's like, well, shit. We don't keep you on your meds, you're gonna melt everybody's brains.
I thought it was an interesting twist. I thought they did that really well with as far as character design.
So we've got someone in our chat saying, I wonder if the staff can restore Maria's to you so we can have two silver.
Yeah, who knows what it can do?
We still have to learn what it can actually do.
And I want to say earlier, I just realized that I misunderstood something said talking about the staff and it being time. I completely misunderstood, and I remember that there was a whole theory at one point that husband's cane was a relic, and I was like, no, wait, but we know it's not a relic. So my brain crossed the wires, and that's why I was confused. I was like, wait, are we talking about Osmond's staff still? Okay, sorry. I was confused.
That's okay. That's what Matthew did the entire reaction we had. At the end of it, he kept saying staff when he was talking about Osmond's cane, and we're like, what? What are you talking about?
Thank you for the donation, Geek Goddess. Okay, can someone do me a favor? Phone on me. Is anyone here who follows me on Twitter? Can someone check? Geek Goddess just messaged me on Twitter, and it's about. She tagged me in a tweet about RWBY, about the RWBY book. I think she's answering a question. Yeah, my phone is on the other side of the house right now, so. Plus, I don't have Twitter downloaded anymore.
Let's see.
I have not noticed that, Mia. Mia says, have you guys noticed the repetitive appearance of the two guys dressed in purple and yellow from episode 1? Sort of like the colors of the box.
Yeah.
I know.
I've never noticed that.
They would appear at various points.
I don't think I noticed it. No.
Like one of them was voting at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, the drunk dudes.
I do want to say
the drunk dudes.
Yeah, the drunk.
I think they were the drunk dudes.
Reappear. Yeah.
I want to say real quick that I loved a lot of even the really minor character. This, especially in Robin's gang, had amazing semblances. Like they were so cool.
The part where they kidnapped the truck that was.
What was she doing? Was she dissolving that truck or capturing it, or we don't know, but it was cool.
It was like
maybe
hammer space.
Or something.
It looked like she stored it in her glove. I think she said.
It's Pocket Hand, I think is the name of it.
She like
so she just
she Ant-Manned it, you know what I mean? Did you find it, Bruce?
I did not.
You did not? Okay.
Just give me a minute. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. 1 second. Did you find what?
Quick, while Barbara's gone, let's all leave.
I like the profile picture. Yes.
Oh, no, I'm trying your Twitter, but I'm not seeing anyone who's.
Yeah, we aren't seeing the tweet, Geek Goddess.
I'm not either.
Okay. I mean, I'm not on Twitter.
So Chocolate Rob is saying in our chat that maybe Salem thinks she's not strong enough to take the gods on because she's fused the Grim Pools for so long. And he also says, how about putting Emily Tower on top of Aspen and raise them both at once, best of both worlds? Parentheses, if you're not Mantle.
Yeah.
I think that was
see how
probably the
anybody-
diamond plan in the end.
I can't see how anybody would think that she'd want to take on the gods because all the powers that she has come from the gods. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
that's
I don't think that's her
impossible.
goal. I think her goal is 100% she wants to die.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, like, she was around the whole time between the whole of humanity
Yeah.
dying and Ospen reincarnating the first
re-evolution of
time.
humans, yeah.
Who knows how long that took? Who knows how long she actually had to be there alone?
It estimates basically for like the entire like pretty much like she's been here. She's probably millions of years old at this point, or the
Yeah.
equivalent.
Yeah.
She's damn old.
So
Yeah,
what?
and if she just wanted to fight the gods, then why would she be wanting to divide everyone too? Like that's like
She'd want them under her to fight the gods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think she divided everyone because pretty much that was the only way she could break through Ozpin's maneuvers and get the route. She's dividing everyone because if she doesn't, there's the humanity is too powerful for her to steal the relic. So
It also ensures they'll fail the test, which is a big deal. She's trying to kill herself.
There's that too.
She needs the world to fail the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
who this was,
and
but-
seeing everybody fight each other is. Go ahead, Bruce. Sorry.
I don't remember who this was, but someone had brought up that they were thinking that she wanted to get the relics so that she could be godlike herself. So she could utilize the
Okay.
4 relics to then
Oh.
make everything the
But,
way
I mean-
she wants it.
But she knows.
Does
She
know
gets
that the
together.
gods are summoned when they are put together, so.
Well, that doesn't
those-
mean you have to put them together. That just
Bruce-
means you
Hmm.
can utilize them separately
Mm.
and have total control over everything. Remake
Bruce.
everything the way you want it.
At Film Geek Goddess. Check that Twitter.
Uh-huh.
And thank you again for the donation, Geek Goddess. At Film Geek Goddess. And that should have the tweet. I think
What's the
Salem
limit
made
there?
the faunus. Interesting.
Yeah, we still don't know how the faunus actually, like, came to be.
Yeah.
They were just there.
Yeah. Osmond was gone for a while. Like when he came to, like,
Millions of years probably.
yeah. And they had like developed separately.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That episode was such a surprise last season where it was suddenly like, oh, guess what? We're getting Salem back started. It's like, oh shit, yes.
And like the whole episode just being the backstory, nothing else.
That was one of my favorites. Like, well, that was because I watch everybody's reactions for every episode, but there are certain key episodes where I'm like, can't wait for this reaction. That was one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What does it say?
Okay, so it's
Yo!
a picture from a section of the book. It says Salem is very different from Team Ruby's mortal antagonist. She's a malevolent force that has existed for millennia, and her citadel overlooks a wasteland dotted by inky blah blah blah. Got it? Okay. Salem seeks to possess the 4 relics and absorb the powers of the 4 maidens, crushing Osmond's resistance to rule Remnant as its Dark Queen.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Okay.
That's why she's sending
Yeah,
Cinder to get all the maiden powers too.
The book is considered canon, yes.
Dang.
Huh.
Well, I guess that's the way it's going to be.
Okay.
Now. Okay.
Cool.
Let's
go.
We know what she wants. We don't know how it's gonna go. What happens when you bring the relics together? Do the gods pop out DBZ style? I think the moon pieces that fell with gods influence created faunus and dust. Isn't it funny the gods have faunus traits? That is very interesting. Plus, Salem's curse relies on her not learning the importance of death. If Salem wants to die so badly, you'd think the curse would lift. That is a really good point. That was her entire... Yeah, you're right. Like, if she really did want to die, that means she would understand the difference between life and death, and it would kind of lift by itself. So clearly, she still hasn't learned that.
Ooh, interesting.
That's
point,
a
yeah.
really good point, Game Guy. That's a very, very good way to put it. Salem has got to be on the Dragon Continent. The fact nobody in universe acknowledges it has to be important.
Huh. What about the theory? Who else thinks this? What about the theory that, and I take it as common, but maybe I'm wrong, that the way Salem will be defeated in the end, of course, is Silver-Eyed Warrior, RWBY, presumably, will remove the grimness from her, and she will become a human. And she will suddenly all the regret and all the pain, all the suffering that she caused, she no longer has that that unending desire for destruction. The
So
group
she would be basically Salem before falling into the pool.
Yeah.
before falling in the pool, completely
I
fucked with regret and
like it.
pain and-
God,
Avalon had something to say.
Need
What's
it.
I
I'm
like
up for
that. I like that, but
that?
Salem
Avalon says
wasn't.
the dragon continent isn't a continent; it's just a giant grim. That we're just seeing in space.
Like the lion turtles.
Yes.
I like that theory, but Salem
with
wasn't,
that.
you know, all rainbows and shit
Sure.
before the
She was-
grim
she was
version
selfish,
of hers.
But
Yeah,
she was human.
Selfish, but she
But
wasn't.
she wasn't evil.
Yeah,
yeah, but she was
selfish.
very
She
spiteful.
was. Yeah. Yes. Very true.
I read a theory somewhere that dust, like the idea that like dust came from like the remnants of the no pun intended, the remnants of like the humans that lived before that had magic.
Right.
Like,
I'm down for that
yeah,
one. I'm down
like
for that one.
fossilized.
I'm pretty sure they named the remnants for exactly that.
Yeah.
It's exactly the pun they were going.
We did see them turn into, you know, particles of dust. So maybe it's settled.
I thought that was already
Maybe.
canon, but
Yeah.
that's cool.
I think they might have said something similar in one of the those little videos they do that they used to
World of
do.
Remnant?
World of Remnant.
videos. Yeah.
They wouldn't have in the Will Remnant on Dust. That was one of the first ones. It's not the first one. They wouldn't have talked about. They wouldn't have talked about the death of humanity at that point. That
Well,
would have been a
that's
business
fair.
model.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Does anyone have a favorite name for the giant grim? Because I've seen a couple float around my chat already. I like Monstro. I mean, I know it's straight from Pinocchio, but it really does it right. Because remember, what was the name of the really big one in Volume 3 that everyone loved?
Wasn't it Kevin?
Kevin?
It was Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin was the
Yeah.
Dat Grim. So people are calling him Wally.
The one
I've heard
that
Dick.
the most is Richard.
Richard
Richard.
and Dick are the ones I hear. I see.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Moby Dick, Richard.
Yeah, Avalon sticks with the monster
Yeah.
as well.
I'm up for that.
I can never
I think
keep
it was
up with
Xiaolong and
those.
Senny that came up with that too, the Richard thing, or someone in like their.
I
I mean, if we're already going with like completely normal names, then it's gonna be Richard.
Avalon is very disappointed that her idea for the Dova Grim for the dragon, which is a Skyrim reference, hasn't stuck. But
I still think the best nickname I saw for any Grim was the Necklace's nickname of Water Glitter Wavy Arm Grim. Wow.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, we have those. Those are really good. Those manga are great. If people haven't read those, there's a really funny one where it's not canon. It's a really funny one where Ruby is trying to find somebody that she's like, I want to be like everyone else, so I'm going to try to find somebody to date. And she like, there's all these jokes about her trying to find somebody to date. And then in the end, she makes a joke to Weiss about maybe I'll just date you. And Weiss has this incredibly flustered reaction, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
But
I've
it's a
heard
little story in there, and I love it.
I've heard that the mangas do a lot with White Rose.
They do a lot.
I need to
Pretty
read
great.
them.
They're great.
White Rose. Oh, my grab her. It's all entirely White Rose. The whole thing.
That's true, Chisiak. We do not know the gender of. We are kind of assuming. But,
Yeah.
Monstro is gender neutral, so I guess any name is technically gender neutral, whatever. So it doesn't really matter. But no, Kevin was the old one. Kevin was the big dragon guy.
Yeah.
Billy.
Billy. Let's go, Billy.
Billy.
What was the Godzilla one? Kenny?
Oh wow, the Godzilla one. I forget. I think we were just calling him
Lenny.
Lenny. I know the official name was the Leviathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Levi as well, right? Somebody called him
Levi.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
makes
because
sense.
It was the Leviathan, so. Still,
Alright, I'm
a bit
so
of
sorry,
weird
guys.
because-
I have to get out of here. I gotta dip. I'm so sorry, but Bruce is gonna still be here. I have to get out of here.
Don't worry.
Thank you
Great
for
having you
me.
here.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Everyone who has
Bye.
not checked out Sirs and Madams, and what's your other channel? What's your
Lucy
other channel?
and Steve.
Yeah, check that one out too.
Bye.
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 Now
we
it
can
looks
talk
weird.
about her.
I just got a bunch of small ones, and then Alex huge in the middle of
Yeah,
time.
me too.
What? Is that Alex Big for everyone in there?
Everyone says as it should be.
Now we can talk about Mary behind your back.
Yeah, there we go. That's the entire point, right?
So again, Chocolate Rob in my chat is saying he's sticking with the theory the moon was infused with dust, and that's where all the power came from when the dark god broke. That's where the dust came from.
A Greek goddess just donated again, and she said, "Hi, Hal. Hi, Alec." Backs into the shadows. So, Greek goddess was just geek goddess. I said Greek goddess. Geek goddess was just.
Why not?
But yeah. Now people are discussing in my chat on whether Grimm have genders.
I highly doubt it.
I don't think so either.
Not really. I mean, they don't. Like, we talked about Penny and her soul and defining her gender and stuff like that. Grimm don't have souls.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I think
they don't have a gender.
I think if a Grimm's mutation or purpose had something to do with gender, maybe like you had some kind of like succubus or incubus Grimm, maybe. But even then, that'd probably be shifting, and whatever it needed to be that horror aspect. So no, I do not think they do.
Yeah.
Well, I would think if they ever did.
Yeah, why not all of them?
Grimmified human probably definitely has a gender.
Oh yeah, well that's different. That's the only example of that we've seen so far is Salem.
Salem.
Not Salem. Cinder.
So,
Cinder's the only example.
Not Grimm.
Yeah, and we see Grimmo. She's Grimmified. She's not Grimm. Yeah, she has the Grimm arm.
Yeah.
And she's affected by the silver eyes because of it.
mm.
What's hot and useless? I hope we see hot and useless again. Is that one of the ships that I'm not aware of?
Yeah.
Hot and useless.
Useless is Sun and Neptune.
Yeah,
Sun
I
and
think
Neptune?
so. Yeah, because they didn't do anything in the fight in Volume 2, and
They just ate noodles.
Sea monkeys.
Yeah.
noodles or like dropping badges.
Oh, that's another thing that I really, really want next volume is the other guy? Emerald specifically. But what was
For me, you just cut out.
Mercury, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Emerald and Mercury.
Emerald and Mercury, yeah.
I need them next volume.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Hazel, Emerald, and Mercury are like my little family in the evil faction. I want them to be a family because they both, like, Emerald and Mercury both have, like, issues, like parental issues, and I want Hazel to take care of them and adopt them.
And run away.
Yes.
And at least Hazel isn't trying to kill everybody. He just wants to kill Osmond
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
But still, hey,
Oh, that's
Hazel...
rude. Someone just said hot and useless. You mean Cinder? That's rude.
Well, she's not able to do anything on her own.
Geek Goddess says, once again, thank you so much for the donation again, Geek Goddess. She says, I stay on the down low. My few reactions stick to theory. I support you all from the comments, and sorry for spamming the chat. No reason to apologize, especially with donations. So, super chat all you want. But, yeah, no, totally. I mean, I know I've known your name for forever. So, Geek Goddess 2.0. Somebody around for a while.
I think again, it's got to be like cool with YouTube. We don't know what the subscribers got. Get enough subscribers, we'll take donations.
The fact that Cinder's Grim arm is spreading. Yeah, Cinder's Grim arm is spreading.
Yeah.
Everyone else has noticed that as well. It's
Oh.
consuming her.
It's up to the
'Cause
shoulder.
The first time we saw it, it was like down there, and now it's up to her shoulder. So it's growing. It's growing.
Neat.
Yeah.
Calm down, Venom.
Well, it's
She's
probably-
gonna be
Calm down, Venom.
dignified.
What was that?
It's probably just like
Gotcha.
actual Grim, where it feeds off of a negative.
What kind of grim would you want her to?
She'd be a unicorn. I don't want her to suddenly be. She should just be like, suddenly she's a giant bear. No, she should be like her own type of Grim.
I think.
No, she could be an apathy. She could be an
Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
I think she cares too much for that.
Yeah, she's too emotional.
Oh.
We're big again.
Oh, good question.
She could be the new Knuckleby.
Cliffy. Who's gonna be her horse?
Okay.
Neo.
No. Neo would buck her ass right off. That's what Neo would do.
No, she would be.
Yeah, it's a great comic.
Emerald wouldn't do the horse so badly. Like Emerald is ride or die for Cinder.
No, not right.
Quick says it's like a scab. It will never heal and it'll keep getting worse if Cinder doesn't stop picking at it.
Well, I mean, it was winter. Pick that.
Even with the idea of Grimmified Summer, I think it'd be awesome if you turned into a Grim with like a creepy baby doll mask.
No.
Jesus.
What's wrong with you?
In my chat.
No, if you did Grimmified people like that, each doll mask could be different. So like they had a Grimmified summer.
I think
and then
no.
a doll mask with no
In my chat, Mandalore 1258 is saying Cinder turns into a banshee group.
I think that Jessica's only rule is that her character cosplay. So
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever they do, it'll be someone that do some awesome cosplay for
If Cinder's arm is growing, could that tie into the comment that Taylor made to her about don't let it control you, you control it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Control of it.
Very much, absolutely. She looks like a Geist who didn't cover her arm. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the growing back of the arm did pretty much resemble what we saw in Volume 4 in the beginning with the Geist Grim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much that I love from the volume in previous volumes, and I just can't wait for more. And I always kind of just check every now and again. And there are other chapters slowly picking up RWBY, so there are new people entering the Reactors verse, which I really like for RWBY, the fandom, which is super awesome. And I just hope they manage to avoid some of the
big spoilers.
Any specific parts of it as toxic, but there are some very toxic parts of the version. I wouldn't even call them parts of the fandom at this point, but there are some very toxic forces that I just know can kill it.
Grim.
I mean, because at a certain point, somebody is not part of the fandom anymore, and they're just somebody hating on it. And that's not just somebody who has issues with it, but somebody who's like actively a force against. And unfortunately, Rooster Teeth has a lot of them right now, especially RWBY. And I just hope that these new people manage to, because that's killed certain shows. Like Avalon was reacting to Doctor Who on our channel for the first time. She never watched it, reacted over time on the channel, and it was without a doubt the most toxic comment section we've ever had on our channel.
Wow.
Where people coming in from Doctor Who and like, yeah, we had really cool people, but the negative part of them were by far the worst. And eventually got her to just stop watching the show. And I just don't want that to happen to people coming in to RWBY and stuff. That's what you just worry about.
That's the upside for us because I'm the one that basically handles uploading the stuff on YouTube, and Sterling's in there quite a bit too. And Sterling and I, between the two of us, we just don't care. Someone can rave all they want, and we're like,
I'm cool with negative comments, like 99 point. I'll just laugh and delete it. And every now and again, there's just that one. Maybe you had a rough day. Maybe something happened. There's just the one comment that just sticks with you. And it's just...
Yeah.
And
I don't think we've ever had a negative comment because we don't have that many followers.
No,
but like,
as it grows, that will grow too.
Gets that like thumb down. He's like so brokenhearted. He's like, "What do you think it was? I swore. I don't know what it was."
Trust me, it'll happen. I mean, you can't focus on it.
Yeah.
Like, you will 100% get shitty comments. You'll 100% get downvotes. Like, our most downloaded videos are movie reviews where we're like, or trailers or movies where like, we liked this movie. Like, I think our most downloaded video ever was for Force Awakens, the one in the middle.
Last Jedi?
Last Jedi was the most recent one. It's the one right before Last Jedi.
No, the recent one was The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah, sorry, for Last Jedi. We enjoyed Last Jedi, and it is 100% our most downloaded video of all time. And also we did a review for
a video actually.
It helps.
Negatively impact you. It helps you. It helps the algorithm.
Shitty comments and downvotes help a channel's video. It will get your video noticed quicker. It's the reason that song Friday is like that girl has made literally millions off a video because everyone like shares it because they think it's so bad. They downvote it because they think it's bad, and they comment to make fun of her. She's made literally millions.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like many of the negative, like I don't get many negative comments, but the most of them are not actually because of the shows or something like that. I had a commenter who was like, I don't know, asking me if I was a Nazi because I was German, and I was what the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry to hear that.
No,
Jesus.
That was just bad. So nah.
It's like, we'll get negative comments.
I didn't actually get that many.
Like, we'll get negative comments now and again, but she'll always get them worse just because she's a girl in a nerdy fandom. So like as shitty as it is, like she'll always get targeted much more than me. Or there'll be the opposite comments with like, what the fuck is she doing with a fat guy like that? Which ones that I like about most of the time. But like you get different comments. You get different kinds of things. And it's shitty and stupid. Someone
Andy
asks
Ross,
if we've go ahead.
Andy Ross is giving pretty good advice there. Only way to mitigate negative comments is to keep putting out positive content. You'll still get some, but you attract more viewers.
That's why we refuse.
That's a nice advice there.
We refuse to put out reactions to things that we hate. Like we literally didn't put out reactions to the last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones because we didn't like them, and I didn't want a video that was us because there's enough of that shit on YouTube. So like if we watch a trailer reaction, we don't like it, we'll just not put it out. So that's why it seems like we like everything. It's that we don't want a channel. It's like there's shit we don't like. We just don't put out. We don't focus on it because there's enough. I mean,
I'm reacting to Rick and Morty, and people are telling me like, you don't laugh as much as I want you to, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't have to laugh at every joke just to like it.
I just kind of have you have more naturally kind of stoic reactions. It doesn't mean you're not enjoying it. It's just how you.
Yeah. Have you?
You just tend to snarkily.
Don't.
Like you'll just tend to snarkily respond to something, and someone will think that means you hate it. Like Avalon loves making fun of stuff. That doesn't mean she doesn't like it. Like people were getting so mad during. So we were watching My Hero, and she like gives every character like some ridiculous nickname.
Oh yeah.
And everyone is like, there are people like, oh, that means she hates the show. No, she doesn't. Like, it's just.
I just used to dissect the story writing and stuff like that, and I mean, everyone watches every other channel for different things because everyone has their own thing, and if you don't like it, don't watch it.
I actually have 2 things real quick.
Go ahead.
So first of all, me reacting is literally.
I know. I watch your videos.
And I'm the type of person that I'm the type of person where I'm watching and I'm processing everything.
Yeah.
At least you talk about it afterwards.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Then the second thing I was going to say was for anyone that leaves, and this is actually kind of a guilty pleasure, when people leave like negative comments or something that's just really over the top or bad, I just want everyone to know that I usually take a screen capture of that and post it in our Discord, and we make fun of you to no end. So you might think you're being snarky and being awesome, but it's like you're really just getting laughed at really hardcore.
I'm gonna
I need to start doing that. Yeah, I need to start doing that instead of letting it get to me. But no, like I'm the opposite. Like when I react to things, I've had people say that I'm fake, but I'm not fake. I'm just I like react to things really fairly big. Like one of our #1 videos is me crying over the Logan trailer, which is just like when I really like something, I react emotionally to it. Like, and trailers, like they're art forms. You know what I mean? They'll fucking get me. And it's the same thing with shows. Like I'm not going to be bawling. I love Arnold Murder Birds, but like I don't react that big. I don't leap out of my chair screaming, which I've met the dude. That's just him. He's not fake. Yeah. That's just who he is. We met at RTX, but like, and I absolutely will cry, but you did too. Like our #1 most watched video is Breath of the Wild. So like we both, we have emotional reactions to things, and it's not being fake. It's just that people show their enjoyment in different ways. Some people are more stoic about it. Some people are snarkier.
How about the other side? How about the people? I've had complaints about this before. I ignore them, but I've had complaints about. Why are you talking over this? You shouldn't be talking. You shouldn't be saying this.
Yeah.
Why are you watching this episode? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
If I don't talk in a scene, then this scene is not gonna get into
the reaction.
Reaction if it's not Rooster Teeth.
Hey, to all those people I say, if you really want to see all the scenes we don't talk, sign up to Patreon. We have the unedited reactions. Otherwise, like I just like, like it's the people who someone here I think or someone reactors posted something about like why are you people? Someone on someone's video made a comment about people watch RWBY Reactors so they can see the show without supporting Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. What?
Oh.
Yeah, so will you shut up and let us watch this crap or whatever? Who was that? Does anyone remember?
No.
It was some big reactor, and they posted that, and they put it on Twitter, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
That was Arnold.
But that was Arnold. Okay, that was.
I mean, they still monetize RWBY Reactions, so they.
If you watch our reactions, they're still getting your money. So
and
that's
the
just the way that works.
going up early, so it's like you could just go watch it for free on their site. So
yeah.
It's available for
Thank
free.
you.
You can find a pirate site.
again, Geek Goddess, and she said thoughts. Sorry, if someone super chats, says thoughts. Ren's mental state. How is Dad's motto "Take action," and how it is very similar to how Ironwood thinks, and danger with his semblance. Interesting.
I mean, he was pretty much on Ironwood's side at that one point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where Nora was
It was in the
speaking
beginning, he
out
was,
for the people of Mantle, and then he was just like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah,
So
he was
there is
very much
similar-
like, let's give him some time, with he quick to react as Nora was.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very good point.
His big problem that's going to come up is that he is so used to not being an emotional person that
Yeah,
he's having that confliction because with Nora and all this, other things that are going on.
He feels.
He feels.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Period.
You can end the sentence there.
Feelings are scary.
No, that's why it got to him so badly when Neo looked like Nora. It was like not, we lost the fight. It was him realizing this is making kind of like, I'm worried about that confrontation he's going to have, where he's like, it's going to be that very kind of tropey, you're making me weak kind of thing, or you make this whole thing. But I'm really worried the direction it's going to go. But you know what I mean? Like when I say something's tropey, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's a thing that.
Yeah.
No.
No, I have to explain that in my videos sometimes. I'll say something's a trope, and they'll be like,
There can be good
I'm like, that's not bad. Yeah, I'm like, that's not bad. It's just like a known thing. And I'm worried that's the direction that conversation's gonna go.
That could be, yes. I'm worried about so many
hopefully-
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the mental state of them.
Oh yes.
Especially after we see him cry. Did he cry before? Probably in volume 4 or something only?
He did cry in the flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen him cry since he was a kid.
I don't think so.
I don't think
that
we
was
have
a
I don't think so.
big emotional response in this
Yeah.
last episode.
I mean, and that cry in the flashback was before you found a semblance. So
Yeah.
I don't agree with Lord Darth Vader. Lord Darth Yoda says, "I'm serious thought into betraying the." I do not see that happening.
Who
I do
betraying
not
who?
see him betraying the heroes and siding with Ironwood. Sorry, he says, and I don't see that happening. I think any chance he had of siding with Ironwood is long gone at this point. Long gone at this point.
They're still his friends, you know.
Yeah. Penny, I think I have personal feelings. Ren, same.
I can. Oh, how about this? Penny, I think I have personal feelings. Ren, I can help you with that.
Do you think Crow gets his revenge again? Ooh. Maybe.
I mean, he's gonna show up again.
I think Ozpin needs his confrontation with James. Ozpin / Oscar needs his confrontation with James. Yeah, that has to happen next one. Yeah. Penny and Ren should just have a long conversation about personal. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Ren isn't going to side with a would-be child murderer.
Yeah.
The comment here. Yeah.
And only would be because of auras. Otherwise,
Otherwise,
straight up child murderer. Yeah.
Yes.
What's interesting is that Ironwood was always there when Ren's semblance new weird hyper thing went off. So I don't know, maybe he was picking up on Ironwood's emotional.
Yeah, what is that? With Ren's semblance, the shift we saw in this volume of him being able to like precognitive almost, he was sensing some things.
Yeah, he evolved basically.
The only person
Almost
that
certainly
showed
Darth
up
Vader.
for that was the common denominator was Clover.
Like I said,
Clover,
Ironwood too. Oh, well, Clover was with Ironwood, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Except for the very
Yeah,
first
but
time when it was Clover.
The very first time it showed up, it was.
Was in
Clover
first
and those guys
episode.
Showed up.
Right.
Yeah. And the second time it hit was Clover and Ironwood walking in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, so Clover was there both times. Interesting.
So.
Well, then that's not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder.
Oh, well.
I'm still in
Breaking
shock.
Crow out, will Breaking Crow out be a Volume 8 plot? Oh, absolutely. I don't see them staying in this area past Volume 8. I don't even know if they're going to be in this area the entirety of Volume 8. Yeah, oh, that's true, yeah. He's going to be pretty broken for a bit. And then
Yes.
I'm worried about him. If anyone has plot reasons for backtracking on their recovery, it's Crow. But I'm really curious to where that's going to go.
feels.
I know. So that's a proper
I have
sound
hopes.
in response.
I have hopes for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like after
Yeah.
the
I
I
initial,
don't think,
the
like,
initial
character's done
drop,
for
I
or
guess.
anything. Yeah. I don't think the character's done for and is gonna be a wreck, but I see him.
But
having
yeah,
some
he's gonna
issues
be
for a
a
bit.
he's gonna be like a relapse. And
Yeah.
Then
I mean,
getting back on track.
we already had
hopefully.
his emo phase in volume 6.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe
yeah.
he's gonna take something away from his friendship with Clover. Maybe that can be something to help him.
Maybe Clover has never had the semblance of being lucky. Maybe Pin was lucky, and now Crow does not have a semblance.
Well, that is interesting.
Neat.
Just keep it with him, and then just like, oh, myself problem anymore.
Geekgotta says, "I feel so bad for Crow." Same.
Yes.
He's had a
Yeah.
rough time of it. We want him happy. Agreed.
Andy Ross says, "I have hopes that Robin will be a major impact on how well
Oh.
Crow rebounds." Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think so too.
And you could see that kind of in that last scene with them when she was like, kind of like,
she comforts him. Yeah.
yeah, I really want to see that. Not as like a ship. I just mean I want to see that
As a
development.
friendship, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question here from Burncore: will Penny be the new P in Juniper?
Got it.
I got that as a YouTube comment on my reaction to Penny being the new P.
I heard that, and I also heard Pine. So Oscar Pine being the other
that was beforehand, and now.
Yeah.
I usually call it Junior with Oscar, but
I was a fan of Orange.
But it would mean Oscar is the leader. Yeah. Doesn't really work.
I know, but still.
Little baby.
You don't think what?
Penny is too RWBY and her.
And I think it'd be too much power to have a maiden to lose them permanent. And second, I think once they leave Atlas, Penny will stay behind and take care of Atlas and Magneto.
She's
probably
yeah.
Or she's going to get offed.
Not again.
The problem is this time, if it happens, it's going to be permanent. That time, I think.
Unless there's that theory that Pietro says he can't bring her back, but what if Jean boosts Pietro's aura so that Pietro can bring her back?
Yeah, I was talking about that with a friend too. Like, does this work, or is it something different? Because it's not like a depleted aura; it's just like actual holes in his aura. So.
Good point.
Yeah.
Is it like with health points and like losing health points?
Well, I mean, it shows their bars of the early season, like a
I mean, like necrotic damage.
Yeah, necrotic damage. What was that?
RWBY is an isekai.
Yeah. RWBY is an isekai. Yeah, I can see that. Fair enough. I think Robin can prove Crow's innocence, but not actually that he killed Clover.
Die and that, but bring her back a third time, but it would kill him.
One of those really sad ones.
Please don't kill Penny again.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't think Crow's worried right now. I don't think the big concern is proving his innocence about killing.
No.
Crow. I don't think that's why he's not in cuffs because of that.
He's in mourning.
Ironwood told them to arrest him.
Yeah. Someone asks, will Raven be back in the future, or is the story over when the girls have to get the powers in the end? Fandom theory, she must be back to die. I think we're definitely going to see her again at some point. And once again, hopefully Ty too.
Yeah.
Great character, need more Ty.
Maybe they'll
get a
fall in love
feeling-
again.
She's going to have a bit of a
Rekindle the old flame.
Episode 3 of Volume 8, they'll be losing, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, the flaming is wide. With
What were you saying there? Bruce?
That I think there's going to be, because it already kind of started, I guess, in a way, where you get the hints of it. I think that Raven's going to get a bit of a redemption arc of some kind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be, but I get the feeling it's going to be one of those bittersweet ones where it's like, awesome, she realized what happened and she's gone.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, if she gets a redemption arc, it will probably be like that. Yeah.
Well, if you believe that the 4 girls are going to get the 4 main powers in the end, then
I don't.
Then definitely.
If they do that, they should definitely switch it up, and Weiss shouldn't be the Winter Maiden, just because everyone expects Weiss to be the Winter Maiden.
Yeah, I mean, like
they should just rotate
Ruby
against
could be the Winter Maiden because Penny has the Winter Maiden power now, and if Penny dies, it would be most likely Ruby she thinks of.
Ooh.
So what if we did-
And Yang would be Spring Maiden just because I mean it's Raven.
Yeah. What was that, David?
Well, maybe I always figured that maybe they keep Nora around to be the fourth maiden because let's be honest, if you give Ruby maiden power on top of Silver Eye, then it's over. They want it.
Unstoppable.
Think about this: the four Ruby girls get the maiden powers, and then the rest of Team Juniper are 3 headmasters along with Oscar of 4 schools.
Oh, ooh.
I love that.
Kawik says the P in Juniper really stands for permanently dead. So who do you think will fit the spot now, Oscar or Penny? Is the question.
Why?
Who was that?
Kawik.
Who's those
That was
who can all ban
Kawik.
them? I mean,
I like this.
Fandom.
I like this person. They speak to my dark humor.
Oh, my heart.
Captain, I just noticed that is a cool hoodie.
Thank you.
So, game guy is saying, since Ironwood needs Penny staff, what if he forces Watch to hack Penny and bring her back in? I don't think you can hack Penny. at this point.
I no.
I think she's beyond that point. I mean, I think I have
She-
no idea.
She has
but
a
I
free
think,
will. She has a free
Yeah.
will,
Could have
so
hacked her before.
True.
She's
To
independent.
go to Watts,
Oh yeah,
though?
he couldn't hack her before either.
Yeah.
He had the
I-
option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
but
did- yeah.
she's basically a real girl, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
it would fly well with that theme, that arc of hers being able to be hacked.
Wasn't she not even hacked originally? It was,
She wasn't, no.
No.
she wasn't.
She wasn't hacked to
at
begin
all.
with.
No.
Yeah.
They just used her because of the
Peter's
polarity
magnetism.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they got access to her schematics, but they didn't hack her because she's not.
Right.
She's a robot, but she's not a machine. You know what I mean? You
She's
know
not
what I mean?
online
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think she's online. They
Yeah,
couldn't
the
get
thing
her.
that I'm really worried about is that her maiden powers are going to be like too much for her like metal body, and that like something's going to happen that will destroy her body.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Which has happened once before.
Someone's talking about how Carrie Miles said that the girls can't become the maidens. I don't know. But I don't know what the reference
No
is.
idea.
Why?
I heard that one
What?
before.
Yeah, and anytime anybody says something like this can't
But-
happen or that can't happen, don't.
It doesn't mean that it can't. Just wait.
No, it doesn't mean it can't. They're writers. They're showrunners. They're not going to tell you the big.
Yeah, they're not going to tell
Yeah,
you
I
what's
mean,
going to happen.
we don't know how it can be like with Ruby because she has silver eyes already, but like all the other, there is no rule that they couldn't have it. So
Yeah.
It's kind of like the MCU. If you ask them to lie to you about what's going to happen,
Well,
oh no, this character's totally not in the movie, but they're like the main character, so they're going to lie to you if that's what they need to do.
most people
Yeah.
who aren't in the entertainment industry don't understand that there's these things called non-disclosure.
Yes, absolutely. NDRs.
So
NDAs.
even if they know and you ask them, it's like, no, really, and they give you an actual answer, never bet that that's the answer.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Exactly.
And besides of which, writing evolves. You may have write a story, several plot points of what you're going to hit, and then find that the characters, which could also screw you sometimes. But just because they said maybe then no, doesn't mean it won't change.
Even like in the MCU with like Tom Holland and all his slips, I can guarantee the majority of those were very
Scripted.
purposeful. Yeah, 100% scripted. Like the time people were freaking out because he accidentally leaked the trailer. He did not accidentally leak the trailer. Come on now.
Personally,
He would not have come back as Spider-Man if he had accidentally leaked the trailer.
Personally, I can see Yang becoming the maiden. I don't really see the other ones, just merely for personal choice. You know, like
Yeah.
of what I would like to see. I wouldn't like to see them, all of them, having the powers.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
just
wouldn't want to-
concentrated in one.
I
One
can't
team.
think of any specific plot thing they might do other than the like, oh, the story ended with everybody dying. Like, I can't think of any specific thing they do that'd be like, I hate that. Like, pretty much anything they'll do. I'm really good at kind of like rolling with the writing. That's actually not true. There are a lot of things that like I don't. But like, I like to think that I am, but then I'm like remembering fairy tale episodes. I'm like, oh, never mind. I'll straight up tell you, I'm like, I did not like that. But I can't think of anything in particular like that where I'm like, I can't think of something I don't want them to do. But I'm sure I'd know it if I saw it.
I just don't
like,
want a
well,
Captain
don't like
Planet
that.
moment.
Oh, you for
Buffers?
sure have gotten the
I said I don't want a
Captain.
Captain.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm like, I had.
Still didn't hear.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. You want your Captain Planet moment.
That's what I don't want is with our powers combined, we defeat Salem.
Oh, see, I want that. I want my Captain Planet moment.
No, I don't mind it happening, but it needs to be something that's different. It can't
Actually,
be as cut and dry as that.
Geek Goddess just said that. Avalon just said, I want Penny to gather all of the powers. And Geek Goddess just said, if they give them the powers, it better be epic because I never really liked the idea. My idea was Penny will gather all 4 of them and return them to Oscar. That's
All
an
right.
interesting idea.
The powers
I
being
like that a
returned
lot.
is a nice idea
I like that a lot.
because
That's if you buy
it
the-
basically belongs to him.
It's if you buy the idea that literally that Ozma gave the powers to the
Right,
kids,
right,
not
right.
that they were given to his children, his 4
Right.
daughters.
Right. Well, we could. I'd say after that we re-entitle the show "Small Wonder."
So many people are going to get that reference.
I know half of them are here.
There's a show in the 80s about a little girl who was a robot. She lived in like the closet. It was super weird, but she was like a robot little girl, like literally lived in the closet. But she's a robot little girl and there was a family. And it was like a sitcom in the 80s called Small Wonder.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I purposely
Okay, what's the cable show?
who would laugh.
No.
Rather than just stare at the screen blankly.
We had one TV in the basement of our house. Okay? So I didn't watch anything. We read books.
I grew up on a lot of like I'm up there in age and like I watched those things. Like my first TV crush was Punky Brewster. So like when I was a very little kid. So like yeah. And then oddly enough, Gadget from Rescue Rangers, but I'm not gonna go into that.
I am very lost
Go on.
in these references.
Sorry. I wonder how John's semblance will evolve because there was a brief talk between Vine and John about
Extending.
Yeah.
Maybe an area of effect.
I want to know what's going on with Ruby's semblance too, because Harriet mentioned something like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different than just a speed semblance.
Yeah.
Does she mean the
Rose petals?
rose petals and like dividing herself and stuff, or is there more to it?
She
Yeah.
has the quantum tunneling. semblance.
It's basically a slower teleport.
Yeah.
Slightly
And
slower teleport.
Yeah, and you've seen her grab and then flower petal with Weiss,
Yeah.
so you know that she could.
And
yeah,
Nora.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
I wonder what that was to Weiss. What was that experience? Would you like to
bye, Geek Guys. Thank you so much for the donations and thanks for hanging out. Bye.
Did she have to vomit afterwards?
Yeah.
Probably.
Then don't let Ruby do that with Jean.
I do think that cold open.
Do you think she
last
can do that
volume-
with John? Like,
I
it's
think
probably
that
too
cold
heavy.
open last volume with the train, it was probably one of the best that they've done. The previous volume,
Yeah.
but like
Oh,
the
yeah.
opening with that train
Miracle.
was one of the best they've done.
Oh,
I love
Just jumping into
Miracle.
that.
So there are
Super
two
good.
things being said by Dakota Lifehack in our chat. One is, why did it seem that Ruby always instantly do the Silver Eyes by Cinder? And the one saying is, do you think the maiden can use true magic or force?
Or what?
Do you think that this maiden can use true magic or just elemental like force?
True
We've
magic.
never seen them do anything outside of elemental attack.
They use
Right.
Salem and Ozma's magic.
Yeah.
They use that magic. The real stuff.
I think it's
And the other
magic.
one being, why is it that it always seems like no matter what's going on, Ruby can always use the silver eye? Because it looked like Salem broke her eye.
Yeah, she broke her eye. She broke her.
Cinder,
yeah.
No, I know that, but I mean, like she broke her, not the power.
Yeah.
The power's
Yeah,
there.
it was kind of this emotional
Yeah,
thing.
because her power's been
Outburst.
shown to work when she's at peace, basically. When she's thinking of like good things, is when it works
Yeah.
best. So she broke her, but not the power.
You have to have Grim
I mean,
there.
we
Because
have-
remember,
Yeah.
that
We
flash
have the
with
twisting
Salem,
of
there
the
was no
scene,
real
yeah.
Grim there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because had someone mentioned that, they're like, "Why is if Salem's not afraid of the silver eyes? She is. She wasn't there.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Yeah.
Salem." that was a projection. It was like why does her power not work on the TV? It's because on the TV's not there. Same thing. Yeah,
The only Grim being there was the jelly. So
yes,
Yeah. It was gone. It was dead. It had been destroyed.
yeah, and it was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how creepy that animation was whenever like it broke and then Salem came up? Like,
yeah.
ugh, so good. She's like one of those.
Salem has a new dress.
Yeah, with the boob window.
It's like one of those.
Yeah, the boob window. That's right. Someone did ask if
she already had a boob window, but now it's bigger.
I never noticed.
It is a bigger boob window. Salem. Lord Darth Yoda says V8's beginning is either going to be insane or Richard bangs into the shields and spends the entire volume circling Atlas. Both very equally likely, honestly. But I'm not sure which one it's going to be.
Yeah.
The shield's down.
Oh yeah, the shields are down. Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Atlas is falling for sure.
Oh yeah. As I said, I want that
finally,
like Age of Ultron style, where they're fighting on the falling mantle.
Yeah.
I don't. My head doesn't jump to that. It jumps to Final Fantasy VI because I'm old and I think of the Flying Continent falling.
Okay. No, I was talking about the Age of Ultron thing, like from the first episode of when we knew that Atlas was like floating in the air. It just.
And then as soon as they're like, it's floating because of the relic.
Yeah.
That happened.
According to Brandy, Selma Hayek is the inspiration behind Cinder's dress here.
No, Salem's.
Salem's dress. That's the inspiration right there.
Okay.
According to Brandy, that's the inspiration for Salem's dress.
Yeah, at RTX, Jessica was dressed up like Cinder's new costume. She had like the new one with like the poncho thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like her costume.
I love that one.
Yeah.
But it's
really
it's
cool.
very different. It's not. There's nothing red in it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's just,
colors.
Yeah.
I think it looks better now than it did because now it looks like when we saw her near the end of this volume, there was detail in it. I want to say, and I think it was more interesting than when we saw it last volume. I really like Neo's thing with like well, it's Neo, so
it's always fashionable.
Well with the head. It works well with the head.
She's best non-hero character. I'm gonna say non-hero. Because whenever I say Weiss is best girl, I have to be like, but I mean hero. And like, what do you, overall, like, Neo's pretty great.
Yes. Yay.
I love her
Spring girl.
Mm-hmm. Her hair is really cool this volume.
Mm-hmm. It's all curly. Wonderful. Yay.
That's one of my things that I went back and I'm like, but as soon as they had that reveal for her being the maid or whatever, I'm like, that was another one of those reactions where I just like fast forward to that. I'm like, all right. Do they notice? How do they react? It's just the best.
Mm.
There's always those spots where you pick like 3 or 4 moments and you're like, I want to jump straight to these.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I'll watch the whole thing later, but I'm gonna pick these first.
I want to see if it's worth my time.
Bruce says, obviously different Bruce. Long structures on long structures on bottom of Atlas is an emergency landing gear.
Stretchers.
No, probably not. No.
Power cables and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's to keep it on the dock, so to speak.
Yeah.
Anchor.
The mooring. That's what I was looking for.
Oh yeah.
I don't think the heroes want Salem herself on the ground. Let her. She enters the fight. Everyone's in trouble. Yeah.
The only one who can hold his own at all would be Ozma. Now we have a fully realized Oscar-Ozma combination.
Yeah.
The only one who could potentially hold her back, but we know he can't beat her. Because she will actually kill him. We've seen that. But he can hold her back.
Yeah.
Hold her back because the last time they fought full out, their daughters were there, but those he didn't give him his power away yet. Those weren't the maidens. They were like, I always felt they were the inspiration for the maidens later on.
Yeah.
Since then, he gave his power away, so now I think Salem would kick his butt. Even fully merged together, superpower where's the name from?
Ozma.
There we go. Oscar.
I'm a firm believer in the thought that the the story of the four maidens being granted powers is just metaphoric. And it really, those daughters really were the maidens.
Yeah.
And when they died, their spirits went and found other.
I did a whole theory video on that.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
So we've got another question from Dakota Lifehack. Well, he asked the one about, we already answered if we think, someone was talking about how the villains will win all next volume. But he also wanted one of our favorite RWBY weapons. Mine clearly is Nora's.
I don't know all their names, and I hate that I don't know all their names, but I'm bad enough with people's names, let alone weapons names. I love Martinaster, I want to say. Weiss's rapier. I loved that. I didn't realize in this episode until this season, I thought that Winter also used a rapier, and it wasn't until the better graphics I realized she used a saber, like an officer's cavalry saber, and I fucking loved it, even though it didn't do anything crazy. I just loved it, especially when she's separated into two weapons. But for me, it's Mertinaster followed by Scarlet Rose, the scythe.
Crescent Rose.
Thank you. I was wrong both times. Yeah, followed by the scythe. But they're all cool. I can't think of a single weapon where I'm like, like at least to the main characters.
I would want Crescent Rose, but I would probably be better with Blake's weapon personally. But
I would suck with all of them. I wouldn't be good with any of them. I'm just saying,
Be like the chibi Jean thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Clara said she wants all four girls, the whole four main girls.
And she wants Velvet.
Velvet is the best.
Oh yeah, sorry. Velvet has the best semblance and weapon probably in the entire series.
Yes,
Wow.
because it's all of them.
Yeah.
I told you.
Personally,
Interesting quicks, but
cut right through a grim like that.
That's interesting. I don't want that to happen at all. Quick says, new theory. What if RWBY uses Silver Eyes on the Grim and until not? I really don't want that to happen because I don't need another big thing to be RWBY's fault or to be like, I don't want that at all. I would be out. Sorry, I said earlier that there was nothing I could think of the writers could do that I would. That's it. That's the one right there. That's
on the Grim, and then you cut
on the whale, and then the whale falls and crushes Mantle.
Jesus.
I'm like, no. That would piss me off.
No.
That would piss me off too.
Yeah, I think that one would be a little too big.
Remember the Iron One's gun is also a gun. That's true.
I still want just Penny to get inside the whale and shoot it up from the inside because that would be the most amazing thing to happen, and it would work with the lore.
She like Captain Marvel it when she like flies through the ship. Same thing, yeah. I need that now. Now I need that. Thank you.
But even if she did Silver Eye, when it fall, that's a big whale. Those are some tiny wings. We really should.
Wow. Now I want me to joke. I don't think I should repeat on the channel, so I'm not going to.
Why not?
Okay, fine. She said, do you know what Ironwood's gun's called? I said, what? And she said, puberty, because it only hits children. And just like, that's my wife for you. So.
All right, that's pretty funny. I like that.
It's pretty funny.
It's all quiet.
That's sometimes when people say he doesn't react. That's like his Queen Silence. Then that was a good one. She
must hate RWBY. She said that about it. She must hate RWBY.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the commenter.
I know. I get that. I was talking earlier about people in the comments will be like, "Oh, she must hate the thing." So he's like, "Oh, she must hate RWBY. She must hate RWBY." It's the same thing where people were convinced I was literally forcing her to watch Camp because she was always horrified.
Oh, that part?
But it's I'm like, guys, I can't force her to do shit, and I wouldn't if I could. I don't think you understand how things work. I'm like, I didn't tie her to the chair. She's just horrified by Camp all the time. She still volunteers to watch it.
Sometimes you're just so masochistic that you watch it. Even
Exactly. Who thinks the whale is also a gun? So,
Yes.
Yes. Opening the mouth and it's like a nuke.
On the top, there's something
I was
working in the top.
It's a giant ball.
Yeah, there was something glowing in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna do that shoop da whoop thing from the old meme.
Oh my god.
Big laser out.
Fire
The big
Rebellion?
lips. The big lips.
God, I haven't thought about that in so long.
Game Guy says they're canceling you. You've been canceled, Avalon. Sorry.
Okay. So another question from
She says
Decode
she's
Life.
not sorry. What was that?
Another question from Decode Lifehacker. He wants to know who our favorite villains are, and who our favorite villain and hero fighting styles.
Ooh,
Neo.
Neo as my
Neo.
favorite villain.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I want to make something very clear. When I say that I think that he's a piece of shit and I hated the character, but he served such an important role in Blake's story that I think he was an incredible villain, and I think he served that purpose very, very well. But like not as in a I liked seeing that character on screen kind of villain, more necessary plot point kind of villain.
Yeah, he was story important, story relevant and stuff. So
he was a hurdle for Blake to overcome for her development, and Yang to
He
overcome,
made me very
which they
uneasy,
both did very well.
and I love that.
Which is kind of the point of him, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, I like his
think he also,
design.
and I think he also served a great purpose of very, very largely outing a certain portion of the fan base, so you know who to avoid. But it's like reminds me of there's a comic writer named Gail Simone who goes against Gamergate all the time and Comicsgate and all those misogynists, and she did a thing where she was like, "Oh, I finally managed to block all of the Gamergate, all the Comicsgate people on Twitter, just so they all would come out and be like, you didn't block me." And she's like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And it's the same thing with Adam stuff, Adam apologists. But it's like, oh,
So
thank you for revealing yourself to me.
I like him, but
Yeah, I most likely like I don't like people who want to like apologize for stuff. Like there's no excuse. There
Yeah,
are only explanations.
Yeah,
No
yes, agreed,
excuses.
yeah, 100%, yeah. But yeah, Neo is my favorite, and then fighting style and villain, just answer in one. I also really like Emerald because I think she's a very interesting character, and I really, really want to see where her development goes.
I
I
want
would
to see more of
exclude-
her too.
I would exclude in my answer Neo and Hazel and Emerald because I don't think they're really villains. I think
Okay.
they're people who are
That's fair.
Okay.
you know, in their
I'm
own
seeing
world.
I'm seeing it as antagonistic to the protagonist.
Sure.
That's how I'm kind of
Okay.
taking.
But I love
That's how I'm
Tyrion.
taking the.
He's a villain.
Tyrion is fun.
Does
Tyrion
Mercury count now or not?
He's still antagonistic to the main characters.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say so. And he's less likely to switch over than Emerald
Yeah.
Okay.
because
Mm.
he's kind of in it because he's a piece of shit and he was abused and he had a lot of problems. I get
Yeah.
it. But I mean, like, Emerald, meanwhile, definitely you could see last time we saw her that she felt she was in
Yeah.
over her head and this isn't what she signed up for.
With Mercury again, no excuses, just explanations.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the same thing. But I kind of like his breakdance fighting style, so.
Yeah, no, he's a fun character. Real quick, Captain, what's the name of the dog? I gotta know.
Noah.
Noah's adorable. All right.
Oh.
I need to draw attention to
She's very sleepy.
she.
Oh.
Not murder face.
No, Murderface is upstairs with my parents.
Roland was a very entertaining villain.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
I think my favorite villain fighting style was actually, I think, Watts, because it was so technical. And I think my favorite hero fighting style is from RWBY Grim Apocalypse with Pure. It's really fun and technical. I like technical fighting, I think.
I like
Like, fancy.
I hope we get. Go ahead. Ah,
if
I
we
like. I hope we get Team Funky more next volume, but I doubt we will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I doubt it,
cool.
but it would
I
be
doubt
cool.
it, but it would be fun. It would
Yeah.
be fun.
Maybe the
I was
end
so
of the
happy to
world
see
starts
Flame.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
And
very
Neon.
surprising and very cool to see them.
I liked to see how they did the rainbow stuff with Neon in the new animation stuff. It looked
yeah.
so great.
I'm always really happy when I get to see, like, I want to see Vacuo stuff mainly because I want to see those teams in these graphics.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for an episode, I want to see like Velvet and Coco and all the other ones and all those characters in this art style.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's gonna be
Which one was
amazing.
Scarlet? Was Scarlet the Peter Pan one? Which one was Peter
Yeah.
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 Yes,
The red
he
one.
was.
That's my boyfriend.
Kevin.
Pan?
Well, back to the villain stuff. Is it
Yeah.
only villains or antagonists? Because
You'd ask for both. What's your favorite villain and hero fighting?
Well, for villains, I would say probably Neo or Watts. Cinder's up there too. But if we go by antagonists, I would go with Raven.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
she's sorta, gray in the middle. And for fighting style, definitely Neo. Ever since Volume 2, ever since she kicked ass
I want to hear
with
Avalon's
Yang.
response to this real quick. Avalon, favorite antagonist and favorite kind of show.
My favorite antagonist.
Antagonist, that's right, antagonist.
Favorite antagonist is romance.
Oh, okay.
Favorite fighting style is voyeurism.
What?
Fair enough. All right, you heard it here first. Her favorite antagonist is romance, and her favorite fighting style is.
You cut out. Who was the
She
favorite?
said her favorite antagonist was romance.
Yes.
And her favorite fighting style was voyeurism.
Jesus Christ.
So, there you go. Heard it here first.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Velvet is for voyeurism, I guess.
Okay, makes sense.
Everything.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And what about for romance?
Roman?
Just in general, just romance in general. Okay,
Oh,
my
okay.
bad. That wasn't a joke thing. That was just romance in general.
Okay.
Yep.
Romance is gonna destroy us all.
Maybe in Volume 8.
I mean, it's already kind of destroying Ren, so.
Yep. So that's a good point. I want to see how Sun reacts to Blake and Yang.
Interesting.
I see him as being supportive.
Yeah.
Supportive.
Yeah.
I mean, he said in the beginning of Volume 6 that it was never about that.
It was never about that exactly. Like
So,
I see him as being like
I
100%.
see him, as being a supportive friend.
I don't see him being jealous at all. It doesn't seem like the jealous type of
not
person.
Adam.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not Adam what you see in her.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't see drama coming from that. If anything,
Yeah.
I see him go, "Oh, good for them."
he's basically the
Mandalore
ultimate-
1258 is saying romance already killed humanity once.
Yes, brought up romance already killed humanity
That is-
once. Salem and
that
Oz.
Definitely
Yeah.
a good point.
Also, if something good about liking you, probably be like 5.
That's true. So she said, "Son, if you find out, it's probably gonna be like,
Yeah.
probably what his reaction's gonna be."
Oh, well, he's like a BFF.
It would be this.
Yeah, exactly,
It would be this meme like Blake and Yang kind of kissing and
High-fiving.
Yes.
high-fiving in the background.
Yeah.
That would be totally them.
Well, he's basically the ultimate wingman anyway. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Him and Weiss.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, the way he said "buy it" to her at the beginning of Volume 6 makes me think he'd be her. Exactly. I think he's a great character. Some people hate Sun. I love that character.
I don't.
But, I think he's such a he's a nice guy, like in a good way, kind of supportive, just person. And I think we need more characters
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, he's
Positive
supportive
power.
and goofy at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want more?
He's positive, but he's not
His
so
voice equivalent was
saccharine.
foul.
Yeah, exactly.
Rooster teeth. Just a,
Andy Ross
Like-
just said, Ilya learning about Blank and Yang is far more juicy.
Yes.
I don't think she would be jealous either.
I mean,
Gamer guy.
he would be more jealous than Sun, but
Yeah, but I
he
don't
would
think
be
so.
Fine with
Yeah.
it in the long run.
Gamer guy said Neptune would be like hot. That's probably also true. That's
Yes.
probably also true.
Neptune would hit on Yang.
Yeah, Neptune. You back up the wrong tree over there. Yeah.
He would be like, girl on girl action, I'm into it.
Game guy says I'm biased because he's Michael. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I want him back to.
so,
Okay.
See, I yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't know one from Dakota Lifehack. He's really enjoying his answering all his questions. This is what do we think happened to the Paladin?
Oh, the big ass robots?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're probably still out there. They're probably just in like
Yeah.
they'll probably be deployed. We'll probably see them deployed next season in like in fully modernized CG, which will be awesome. I mean,
Oh,
I
God.
can only assume that like Ironwood would use those. It's just that they probably take a lot of like people behind the scenes controlling
Yeah.
it.
But like at the moment, the only way we've seen Ironwood's fleet would be like the air fleet in the air and just evacuation. So we didn't have like any other ground forces in the last volume from Ironwood. So yeah.
They're probably
Yeah,
all
there's
on
something that could
standby.
happen. Yeah.
Mia says,
Like you sneeze at and they die. Yes,
Yeah. Mia says, I hope they'll keep the open shirt look with Sun in shows about fuck. I want to see those abs.
I don't
What
think he
Mia
knows how
says.
to close a
Those
shirt.
apps.
Yeah.
Well, he does. There are like 2 scenes where he has a closed shirt.
In like
Sure,
in
the
like
dance.
volume 2, right? Like in the dance, yeah.
One time, when they go their separate ways and like try to find Roman, that one time he has a closed shirt, and then at the party.
I remember that first
But
one.
those are the only ones.
He has a tie.
Oh
I think.
yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Game
At
Guy
the
says,
at the
so
rally.
Who wants to speculate exactly what the Paladin is? Watts engineered it to fake his death. Did he possibly make the Paladins?
Right.
Mm.
Paladin and Satan. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't know.
The Paladins were new as
How
of volume 2.
how
Yeah,
heck
they were, yeah.
Like,
I
how
think
can he fake his death with a paladin?
Or at least newly introduced. That doesn't mean they weren't working on the behind the scenes for a good time.
Probably the engine for it.
So we're gonna. I don't know if it'll affect. We're gonna have to duck out because it's getting to about 9:30 for us. Someone needs to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I actually haven't eaten dinner yet, and it's 7:30, so
I want to wind it down.
Maybe we should tie this one up.
all right. Do we want to go over anything? Any last topic or last thing that we want to go around and say?
Yeah.
I repeat to anyone watching on my channel, look up all these channels. All these people are awesome. All good channels you should watch.
Brandy had a question of what does people think she should. She's trying to figure out more things to react to. She is home one night. It's basically a reverse of what Joey and Avalon have going on.
Where she has more time to react than I do. Yeah, that's it. Although most of the shows in our works crazy hours, and I work from home, so I'm like, oh, time to squeeze in another episode of Harley Quinn, or whatever I'm reacting to, and it just makes it easier. By the way, everyone should watch that show. It's great.
We got Sabrina on volume 3.
Okay.
And Legends of Tomorrow, both in the background. She doesn't know if she wants
People are mixed on Legends of Tomorrow. I love it. I think it's super. It's a show that acknowledges comic book, so I recommend watching it because it knows it can be kind of ridiculous. But some people don't like that. I like it.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
I'm up to
But
date except for this season.
okay. You're further along than I am. I'm trying to think of shows that are really good for YouTube that are also like not gonna, because there are certain shows I want to react to, but I'm like, well, all these people got strikes for it. I'm gonna avoid that show. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I don't know.
Someone said Dragon Prince.
Dragon Prince is nice.
My wife loves that one. I haven't watched it yet. And Dragon Prince.
Yeah,
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I've watched the first season by myself once. I didn't continue yet.
Same.
Dragon Prince is good. You should react to She-Ra because I need more She-Ra reactions to
She-Ra.
watch because there's like there's like 3 people who react to that show, and I need
She-Ra
more.
I'll
of them.
react to season 3 of She-Ra if you want.
Do it.
She-Ra is on the list, but my schedule is basically full until June. So
Love it. I went to the panel for it at Comic-Con this last year. I waited there was a huge line to get into it. I got in the panel. I was like right in the middle, and it was literally me and an entire audience of lesbians. That's the audience of the show. And it's like,
I mean, have you seen the show?
I'm not complaining, which is funny because the year before we went to the Winona Earp panel. It was the exact same thing. So I'm just like, exact same thing. But
I would love to react to She-Ra.
It's so fun. It's ridiculous, but in the best way. And it's just Cachadora for life. All right.
Yes.
I mean, I saw the first episode. I'm technically up for it, but since for my Patreon only show, people wanted to do anime more likely than cartoon, so it was just like, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I literally have 3 She-Ra posters there, and then Christmas Avalon got me the glitter and She-Ra like dolls. They're like, They always ran out of the cats. Or the cats are the ones I want. It's sold out everywhere, and it's like on eBay for like $60. And I'm like, son of a. But like instead of like the 15 you pay for it at the store. But anyway,
Wow.
sorry.
I still
completely
need
sidetracked.
Shira merch.
Shira. Yeah, that's my suggestion. Oh, yeah, that's my big suggestion. Not enough people react. A lot of cartoons, a lot of people don't react to. You should.
I liked 12 Forever. Not a lot of people watched it.
I loved 12 Forever, and I'm super sad it got canceled because
Yeah,
because that super sucked.
It was a mess.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
But
the show is amazing.
12 Forever, great show. It's one of the few shows that's like a kids cartoon with a queer female lead.
Yeah.
So it's amazing just for that. But the issue behind it is that the creator, who wasn't actually there to make the actual show, she was fired before the show was even really in development. She made some really inappropriate social media posts where she basically straight up like hashtag pedophile, looking at this little boy at the playground. He's so cute. I wish his mom wasn't here. I'm quoting it. And,
I read
stuff
those.
like that. And she ended up, surprise, getting fired. Had nothing to do with the actual show being made, but there was enough controversy about it that it didn't get picked up for a volume 2.
Especially because of the themes of the show.
Yeah, especially because it's about kids developing and then all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like...
It's really, really good.
Also, they're really short. There's only a couple that we should probably check out. Has Been Hotel will probably be really good.
I haven't checked it.
Has Been Hotel. Oh, you already seen that one?
I watched
They only
one
have one
episode
episode.
of it.
They only have one episode so far.
Okay.
Well, they also have the
Hell of a Boss.
Yeah, the Hell of a Boss. So we all watched together. I was tired.
I fell asleep. Oh my god.
And so it actually ended up being OBS opted it, which ended up being good because of that. And like I was having trouble paying attention because I just got off of like a 12-hour shift. I was tired. It wasn't until I went to go watch other people's reactions to see how they were doing it.
That you realized that it was good. I feel bad about that.
I watched Hell of a Boss on my own.
I feel bad about it because like I got a bunch of people in my Discord asking. I got a bunch of people in my Discord asking like, "Oh, are you gonna react to Has Been Hotel, and I saw like some snippets about it, and I thought that it was. I hate things that are just like edgy just to be edgy, and I'm like, that's not. I'm gonna hate it. So I kind of shit talked it a little bit, and then I was like, at one point on my, I fully admit it. And then at one point on my own, I'm like, all right, it's like 15 minutes. I'll put it on, and I loved it, and I was so mad at myself for not reacting to it and for talking crap. Unlike Joker, which I stand beside my talking crap about Joker, but I'm not gonna get into that. I loved it, and I'm like, I'm so mad that I didn't film a reaction to this because it was so good.
You can film a review.
I'm just putting.
I could do that. Yeah.
I'm just putting everything on my list basically, and just like, okay, if this spot is free, I'm gonna do something of it.
Like I've started filming a bunch in advance. Then I'm currently filming Teen Wolf, Gravity Falls. I'm loving
Gravity
that.
Falls. I basically started.
Like you anymore.
If what was that?
Can't
You don't
get
love
with
Lydia.
Which one was Lydia? Lydia's the redhead, right? Like she's kind of like a reddish blonde. She's like the popular girl who's secretly really smart. I'm only on season 1, and she's easily my favorite character. So easily the best character. But Vikings. Once again, Harley Quinn. Everyone should check that show out. It's way better than it should. But yeah.
We did film a reaction. I have not gotten up yet to the new show they had on YouTube. They're kind of the Zoe's Extreme Playlist, the musical comedy. Because apparently I'm hilarious to watching comedy.
He's the worst. He like walked out of the room and he's like, "Nope, I'm done." And we're like, "I want to see you not walk out." So bad.
I'm getting a lot of comments about, are you guys going to do more of these? Great. Maybe we can find other subjects to do roundtables about, which would be great, but we're not getting another RWBY, well, at least probably until we get more RWBY.
Yeah, till October.
Reactors roundtable without the RWBY.
Yeah, exactly. We can do something without RWBY and be like, thanks. Because it was very successful.
Yeah.
So this was pretty much all StoryFNDM's idea, right? This was all you put this together, right?
Yeah.
This was great idea. Great idea.
Yes.
I slightly stole the idea from I used to play a game that I burned out on. I used to love her Elite Dangerous. And for a while, they were doing all this content releases. So all the content creators for Elite Dangerous would get together every Friday and do a big group stream, talk about it. I'm like, Ruby's really good. What if we just YouTube about that?
Yeah, no, it was a good idea. So, anyways, I should dip out and eat. So, great
Yeah,
talking to
it's like-
everybody. It was great meeting some of you for the first time. Some of you
Yes, it was good meeting
just
you
actually
all.
meeting.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Bye.
I will see some around. I know there are several sub active Discords that if you're not in, you should check out. There are a lot of people
Yeah,
are in. I know.
I have a Discord now. It's pretty new and it's not very active yet, but if you want to join.
Yeah, same
And then
here.
I know that Sirs and Madams has one.
Yes.
I have one. I'll have to check out both of yours. Are they listed under your?
Mine is always listed in the descriptions of my videos, so.
What about yours?
I don't remember if I posted it on my YouTube yet or not, but I can leave a link in here and then I'll post it on my YouTube.
Yes, I don't. I'm not in the chat though, so I'm in my. So so we'll find a way. I don't know, but people should check out Discord and see those. A lot of really great communities.
Never watched reactions, so it was nice meeting you.
That's the kind of way I'm honest. She doesn't really watch reactors unless I make her.
I asked David, I'm like, do people really watch people react to stuff? I really don't understand.
I love it.
I mean, that's not true. They're not true. She just watches other reactors.
Yes.
She's not as into it as I am.
Rooster Teeth reacting to murder of birds. Like, look,
That is one of the greatest videos on YouTube. I will stand by
I
that.
just watched that, like, not today because it's like almost 5,
Yeah.
but
I love it.
yesterday
They're like,
with my
we're
friend.
gonna kill him. Like, oh my god. And he's like, oh, Penny, and they're like, oh no, he doesn't know what's gonna happen. it's one of the best.
And the end with we're gonna destroy you with our hugs. That's so cute.
So there's one particular reactor who's new
Okay.
that I've caught his stuff, and he's actually comes from an animation background.
Ah, yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
And
I think I know who you're
he's
talking about.
yeah, and he's actually, back in the day, he had actually like met Monty several times.
Oh wow.
Stuff
Wow.
like that. And so, but he just decided to randomly have this channel, and it's let's see,
It's AG.
AG and chill, AEGE ampersand
A-
CHILL.
AEGE
Yep,
ampersand, and in one word or multiple words?
one word, and then chill CHILL.
I see Aging Shell.
Yeah, so
It's super funny.
yeah, and he catches everything.
Interesting.
Like-
Subscribed.
Yeah, he catches everything, and I've like the smallest details that he'll just notice that have to do with animation or plot devices, or he'll make predictions like 3 episodes earlier. Be like, I get a feeling that this is going to be important, or for some reason I think that this is a big deal, and it's like that's the entire plot device of the show. Of course it's a big deal, but he just doesn't know it yet, But yeah, he's a really good one to watch too.
He
so.
did miss Blake's fondness.
Yeah. Is it actually on the thumbnail? It says, "How did I miss those ears?"
Well, yeah, the funny thing is, in one of the previous episodes, he saw the bow move.
Yeah.
He thought it was an animation glitch, and he noticed that. But then fast forward all that time, and he was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
I was just double checking that I am in fact subscribed to all your channels. All right.
But,
All right.
yeah,
I know for some of them, like I've watched a bunch of them, so I figured.
he's a lot of fun, and he's just getting started. He said something the other day about like, "Oh, holy crap! There's 7 volumes." So
Yeah.
He's only now finishing the first, I think.
project. Yeah, he's up
Alright.
to chapter 15.
On that note, I am gonna go.
All right.
So great talking, everybody. Great meeting people who I'm just meeting.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
It's
I will
almost
see some
5
of
and I
you-
kind of have something to do at like
6.
well, like at noon.
Oh shit. All
Buddy.
right.
I told them I would be tired.
You have musicians hours.
all right. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for coming to the stream.
Bye. And bye to all that watch the stream.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm gonna have one thing for those that are still there. I'm gonna have a stream next weekend to celebrate 1K subscribers.
Awesome.
So if
Awesome.
you want to join in,
And congratulations on 1K subscribers.
thank you. I'm gonna still say which time, but you know.
You can get 10 cents a month from YouTube. Cool.
Yeah.
Bye.
That's about how it works.
That's it.
Bye.
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 Oh no, he's out. Wait,
Oh god,
okay,
I kind of still have to stop the stream. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
He's trying to respond to me in the chat. What was the name of the channel? The one
Oh.
new one?
Yeah, spelled AEGE, and then or ampersand, and then CHILL.
I really love him.
I haven't had to watch his stuff yet, but I actually saw him before you showed up.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god!